Neon lights pierced the night, and the dormitory area of Jiangqing University-affiliated high school looked like a sleeping giant, faintly revealing the restlessness after the spiritual energy was revived. The air was filled with the sour smell of cheap instant noodles, mixed with the low-quality spiritual cigarettes secretly smoked by the roommate next door. The burnt spiritual smell penetrated his nostrils and made Lin Fan's stomach churn. He curled up on the narrow bed on the lower bunk, his pale face reflected in the worn cell phone screen. The balance column of the Lingshi wallet app dazzlingly displayed, 0 Lingshi. Tomorrow is the written test for the Immortality College entrance examination. This thing determines everything, the written test, mock battles, and resource auctions. If you can't pass the 3 levels, you will go back to the mortal area and become a dog, and you will never be able to stand up again. Lin Fan, are you still looking at that crappy app? Huh, you loser of Lingshi, go sweep the streets tomorrow if you fail the exam. The door of the dormitory was kicked open, and several high school boys squeezed in. The leader, the fat man Wang Lei, laughed so hard that his fat body trembled. In his hand, he was shaking a bottle of low-level spiritual liquid that he had just bought from the app. The bottle's body shone with aura, and there was suddenly a hint of cool spiritual energy fragrance in the air. The thin monkey Lu Yang next to him continued, his voice as sharp as a knife. I heard that young Master Ye Chen recharged 10,000 spirit stones tonight and bought 3 bottles of foundation-building pills. His father is the boss of Jiangqing Spirit Stone Group, and he is firmly in the top 10 of the god-slaying list. A poor guy like you is worse than a beggar in the mortal area. The laughter came like a flood, and Lin Fan's fists turned white and his knuckles cracked. His family was originally a family of minor cultivators. After the death of his parents, he was heavily in debt and his spiritual stone wallet had long been frozen. Everyone in the class knows that he is recognized as a loser. He can't even master the 3rd level of chi refining. How about the college entrance examination for cultivating immortals? Just a joke. Go away, the smell of your spiritual smoke is killing me. Lin Fan growled, his voice full of weakness. He turned over and sat up, staring at his phone. Countless images flashed through his mind, the majestic immortal gate of the Immortal Cultivation Academy, the towering spiritual peaks, the names of the geniuses on the god-slaying list shining like stars, and he could only watch helplessly as the rich 2nd generation recharged like water, crushing everything. Wang Lei came closer and breathed hot air. You are a good-for-nothing. Are you pretending? Ye Chen said that before tomorrow's exam, he will personally send you to the mortal area to beg. Ha ha ha. They left with a laugh, and the door slammed shut, leaving Lin Fan alone facing the empty dormitory, with his chest weighing like a huge boulder and unable to breathe. Despair swallowed him like a black tide. Lin Fan slammed the phone and cracked the screen. But at this moment, the app popped up a strange red prompt, System Detection Abnormality. Bug fixing. User privileges elevated. He froze and rubbed his eyes, thinking he was hallucinating. With trembling fingers, he clicked on the recharge page, and the input box that should have been dark actually shone with golden light. Try. Lin Fan's heartbeat was beating like a drum. He entered 1 yuan in real currency and pressed confirmation. Byte. A metallic electronic sound sounded in my mind. Recharge successful. Obtain unlimited spirit stones x1. System vulnerability activated. Every time you recharge, the spirit stones will be doubled without upper limit. Lin Fan's pupils shrank suddenly. On the screen of his mobile phone, the balance jumped from 0 to 1, then scrolled crazily, 10, 100, 1000, infinite. The air seemed to freeze, his heart was beating wildly, his blood was surging like a spiritual spring, and an unprecedented excitement ran up his spine. Is this true? He took a deep breath. The musty smell in the dormitory instantly became unbearable. His fingers flew and he recharged. Top up. The balance has soared to hundreds of millions of spirit stones. The worldview was instantly reshaped in his mind. Spiritual energy has been revived for a century, modern cities are divided into mortal areas and immortal areas. The college entrance examination is like thousands of troops squeezing a single plank bridge. The written examination tests the theory of spiritual power, the actual battle is bloody, and the resource auction is a paradise for the rich. The god-slaying list is the glory of top geniuses. Those who reach the top will go directly to the Immortal Emperor Academy and have a worry-free life. But now, he, Lin Fan, has infinite spiritual stones. Low-key, test first. He suppressed his ecstasy, searched them all, and found the most powerful novice resources, the best foundation building pill, and a bottle of 100,000 spiritual stones. Buy it. Bite. When the package arrived, a bottle of crystal-clear elixir appeared on the bedside. The fragrance of elixir was as fragrant as clouds and filled the entire dormitory. The concentration of spiritual energy surged and the air buzzed and trembled. Lin Fan swallowed it in one gulp, and the elixir melted in his mouth, turning into a billowing spiritual wave and rushing into his dantian. The originally dry sea of qi seemed to be ignited by fire, and spiritual power surged. His meridians widened inch by inch, his bones crackled like exploding beans, and his muscles bulged like steel. My field of vision became 100 times clearer, my hearing captured the chirping of insects downstairs, the fragrance of red pepper mixed with the coolness of the night breeze in my nose, and every inch of my skin felt like a new life. Early stage of foundation building. No, middle stage of foundation building. Lin Fan opened his eyes gleaming with light, and he casually held the edge of the bed, and the wood made a crunching sound. Strength. Unprecedented power. He felt like he could break rocks with one punch and reach the sky with one leap. The shackles of the poor loser were instantly broken. It was late at night, Lin Fan was sitting cross-legged doing his exercises, and his spiritual power surged like a river. Overnight, he went from a waste of energy refining to the middle stage of foundation building. In the world of immortality, this is a miracle that is rare in 1,000 years. But he remembers to rise low. Those ants who laughed at him would sooner or later kneel down and lick him. It was dawn and the dormitory area was noisy. The senior high school students rushed to the examination room dragging their tired bodies, the mobile apps were buzzing, the rich students were recharging spiritual stones, and the poor students were sighing. Lin Fan picked up his schoolbag and walked out of the dormitory. The air was filled with the aroma of various elixirs, mixed with the sweat and nervous breathing of the candidates. The campus square is crowded with people. The giant screen hangs, and the latest ranking of the god-slaying list is broadcast live. Ye Chen, the #1 lieutenant colonel in Jiangqing, in the late stage of foundation building, ranked 5th on the list. The comments below flooded the screen. Young Master Yi is awesome. I recharged another 500,000 spirit stones tonight, and I ate the foundation establishment pill until I vomited. Lin Fan walked by with his head lowered and suddenly heard a whisper in his ear, "Isn't that Lin Fan? Lingshi is a loser. I heard that he was ridiculed by Wang Lei and the others last night. Before today's exam, Ye Chen wants to block him." With his heart sinking, Lin Fan raised his eyes and saw a group of figures surrounding the school gate in the distance. The leader, Ye Chen, was wearing a brocade robe. The spiritual pressure in the late stage of foundation building was like a mountain pressing down on him. He was surrounded by spiritual light and was playing with a flickering magic ring in his hand. She was followed by Wang Lei, Lu Yang and other followers, as well as several school beauties. Among them, Luo Li stood coldly, with icy muscles and jade bones, but she looked at him with a frown. "Lin Fan. Get over here." Ye Chen's voice was like thunder, and his spiritual power enveloped him, making the air in the square buzz and vibrate. The candidates around them looked sideways and whispered, "Master Yi is going to take action. That loser is dead." Lin Fan stopped, with a sneer on his lips. New power boiled in his body, and he felt that Ye Chen's spiritual pressure was like a fly shaking a tree, not worth mentioning. But he kept a low profile and walked forward slowly. "Ye Chen, what's the matter?" Ye Chen smiled evilly, waved his hand, and a whip shadow of spiritual power was drawn, the air was torn and screamed, and it went straight to Lin Fan's face. Wang Lei shouted excitedly, "Master Yi, beat his loser face to pieces. Let him know that the world of immortality is a world for the rich." The candidates around him gasped, and someone screamed, "Foundation building whip. Lin Fan is finished." Luo Li's beautiful eyes narrowed slightly, and her best friend Shenqingqing tugged on her sleeve, "Sisterly, that good-for-nothing is going to be crippled." The shadow of the whip touched his body, but Lin Fan did not dodge. The spiritual power in the body moved slightly, and an invisible wall of energy exploded. Bang! The whip shadow shattered like glass, and the fragments of spiritual energy flew everywhere, stinging the skin of those around him. Ye Chen staggered back 3 steps, his face turned pale. "You, how could you block it?" The square was dead silent. The candidate's eyes widened, Wang Lei's fat mouth opened in an O shape, Lu Yang's legs went weak and he knelt down, building the foundation. He has built the foundation. Impossible. He was still a waste of energy refining last night. Luo Li's delicate body trembled, her lips parted slightly, and Shenqingqing screamed, "Oh my God! Lin Fan built a foundation overnight? Is this a monster?" Ye Chen's pupils shrank into needles and he roared angrily, "Pretend to be a ghost. Brothers, come on. Destroy him and throw him to the mortal area to feed the dogs." More than a dozen followers rushed towards him, their spiritual power roared, and magic weapons came out. Lin Fan's eyes turned cold, and his infinite spiritual stone wallet flashed in his mind. He had secretly recharged millions of dollars, and quickly bought in the mall, low-level spiritual shields and explosive talismans. But now, he wants to lower the water. Clenching his fists, the power in the middle stage of foundation building erupted like a volcano. The first follower rushed over, and Lin Fan grabbed it with one hand. Crack! The sound of broken bones resounded through the square. The man flew 10 meters like a kite with a broken string. He hit the ground and vomited blood. His eyes were horrified. He built the foundation with one punch. There were screams all around, "Monster! Is Lin Fan a hidden genius? Ye Chen is about to overturn." Ye Chen's face turned livid, and he held out his magic ring, with golden light shining brightly. Die. Psychic explosion ring. A storm of spiritual power erupted from the ring, sweeping across the entire venue. The air was distorted, heat waves hit their faces, and the candidates retreated hastily. Lin Fan laughed, feeling extremely happy. This is power. He took a step forward, and the ground cracked under his feet. He concentrated his spiritual power on his right hand and said, "Broken." With one palm strike, the invisible force was as heavy as a mountain. The storm of spiritual explosions collapsed, and the aftermath was such that Ye Chen vomited blood and fell to his knees. Pfft! Ye Chen glared like an ox and his voice trembled. "Building, the middle stage of foundation building? How did you do it? You're a waste of Ling stone." The whole place was dead silent, and then a tsunami erupted. Lin Fan. Lin Fan. Luo Li's pretty face flushed, her eyes flashed, Shenqingqing pulled her, "Sisterly, he is so handsome. He killed the school bully overnight." Lin Fan looked down at Ye Chen, like a god looking down at an ant. "Ye Chen, from now on, you are just my stepping stone. Get out." Ye Chen got up and ran away in embarrassment, leaving his followers on the ground wailing. The candidates looked at him with worshipful eyes, but Lin Fan turned around and left, thinking, "This is just the beginning. The written test is coming, God-slaying list, here I come." Outside the school gate, Luo Li bit her lip and caught up. "Lin Fan, wait. You." But at this moment, a cold voice came from the darkness. "Boy, do you dare to touch Mr. Yi? Jiangqing Lingshi group is looking for you to settle the score." Several peak foundation building spiritual pressures locked in. The air outside the school gate suddenly stagnated, and spiritual pressure was like an invisible giant net, pressing down from the shadows, carrying a strong smell of blood and money. Lin Fan paused, and the spiritual power in the middle stage of foundation building in his body surged like a frenzy, instantly protecting his whole body, but he felt the arrogance mixed with the spiritual pressure, far surpassing Ye Chen, and 3 levels of peak foundation building. Luo Li's voice stopped suddenly, her pretty face turned pale, and a trace of panic flashed in her beautiful eyes. She grabbed Lin Fan's sleeve and whispered, "Be careful, it's the deacon of Jiangqing Lingshi group. Ye Chen's cousin Ye Kuang and the others, they are coming." Shen Qingqing screamed at the side, her body retreated, her face was as pale as paper. "It's over, it's over. Ye Kuang is the pinnacle of foundation building, a killer worshipped by the group, specializing in dealing with disobedient poor students." From the shadows, 3 figures slowly walked out. The leader, Ye Kuang, was 8 feet tall, with muscles as gnarled as an iron tower, and auras tumbling around his body like blood flames. He wore a flickering metal bracelet on his wrist. The bracelet buzzed, exuding the oppressive feeling of a high-level magic weapon. The air was filled with the luxurious aroma from the accumulated spiritual stones in his body, like the burnt sweetness of countless gold coins burning, making the stomachs of the candidates around him churn. Ye Kuang snorted coldly, his voice crackling like thunder. "Lin Fan, you loser with 0 spirit stones, last night Ye Chen reported that you were pretending to be a foundation builder. A poor man is worthy of cultivating immortals. I smashed 10 million spirit stones in one night, and piled them up to the peak of foundation building. Your parents owe our group a debt, and you should have dropped out of school long ago. Licking your shoes in the mortal area. Kneel down and kowtow, and if you cut off an arm, maybe you will be spared." He stepped out, and the green bricks on the ground were cracked, and spiritual pressure poured out like a mountain. The candidates around him screamed and retreated. Some people sat down with their legs weak, and their pants were soaked. The smell of urine mixed with dust hit their nostrils. The 2 followers next to him were at the peak of foundation establishment, with swords on their waists, and eyes as fierce as wolves. One of them smiled and threw out his mobile phone. "Boy, do you dare to touch Mr. Yi? Our boss recharged 500 million spirit stones last night just to avenge his son. Watch out, this is the latest flying sword of the group. 500,000 spirit stones." He pointed his finger, and the app jingled, and 2 blood-red flying swords appeared in the void. The spirit patterns on the swords flowed, tearing the air and letting out a shrill scream. The sword pointed directly at the center of Lin Fan's eyebrows. A wave of heat hit his face, as if he could smell the rust of iron blood. Lin Fan sneered in his heart, but on the surface he pretended to stagger back. His face was as pale as paper and his voice was trembling. Ye Kuang, you are bullying others, the world of immortality is not made of money." Spiritual power surged in his body, and his spiritual stone wallet flashed in his mind, with a balance of hundreds of millions like a galaxy. He instantly recharged tens of millions, and quickly swept through them all. Low-level fireball jade slips, 100,000 spiritual stones, mid-level spiritual shield jade slips, 500,000, and 10 explosive flame talismans, millions. The knowledge on the jade slips poured into the sea of consciousness like a tide, and the path of the spiritual power of the fireball technique was instantly engraved in the mind. The candidates beside the square widened their eyes. Wang Lei got up from the ground, his fat face twisted into excitement. "Brother Ye Kuang is here. That good-for-nothing is dead. Mr. Yi was beaten and vomited blood just now. Now Lin Fan is going to be pierced by a flying sword." Lu Yang agreed tremblingly, his voice trembling but with pleasure. "Yes, the group's money will kill him. A poor loser will never be able to turn around." Luo Li bit her lip, her beautiful eyes full of anxiety, and pulled Lin Fan tightly. "Run." The 3 of them joined forces. "You can't stop you in the middle of foundation building." Shen Qingqing cried out, "Brother Lin Fan, don't fight hard. Ye Kuang's flying sword can cut through the peak of foundation building. The group recharged live broadcast last night. I am so jealous." Ye Kuang laughed loudly and waved his fat palm. run. Flying sword, chop. Two bloody swords sprang out like poisonous pythons. The sword energy ripped out the air, making a harsh metal friction sound. The sword light reflected the school gate blood red, and the hot wind mixed with the sword light blew across the candidates' faces, leaving blood marks. The followers rushed forward with a ferocious smile, the wind of their fists roared, and their spiritual power enveloped the rotten golden energy, directly reaching Lin Fan's dantian. You useless piece of wood, suffer death. There was dead silence around, the candidates took a breath, and someone murmured, "It's over, Lin Fan is going to be quartered by 5 horses." Wang Lei's eyes lit up, "Brother Ye Kuang, save his life, let him watch us recharge and smash him to death." Just as the sword tip reached his nose, the fishy wind hit his face. Lin Fan's eyes suddenly turned cold, and his forbearance exploded. The consciousness see fireball technique operates, the spiritual power of the right hand is condensed, and a fist fireball is instantly formed. The red flames are rolling, the heat wave is steaming, the air is distorted and humming, the aroma of the elixir fire is tangy, and the hair on the sideburns is burnt. Fireball? Low-level garbage. Ye Kuang scoffed, but Lin Fan snorted coldly, broken. The fireball blasted out like a cannonball, its trajectory distorted the space, and hit the bloody sword. Boom! The explosion was deafening, the fire shot into the sky, the sword body melted like wax, and the fragments flew everywhere. The skin of the follower was so hot that it smoked, and he screamed repeatedly. The 2 followers were the first to bear the brunt. The fire wave swept through, their robes were burned, and their skin was torn. One person's chest was charred and black. He flew 5 meters and hit the wall. He vomited blood and fainted. His eyes were horrified, this fireball, the purity of the middle stage of foundation building? Impossible. The other person's arm was melted, and he knelt down and wailed, "It's so hot. I'm so hot. Where did he get the jade slip?" Ye Kuang's pupils shrank suddenly, and the bracelet's golden light shone brightly. "You little pariah, you dare to fight back. Spirit gold bracelet, crush it." The bracelet flew out from his hand and turned into a giant golden ring. The spiritual pressure surged, the wind and thunder roared, covering Lin Fan's spirit, the air compressed into solid, the candidate's eardrums buzzed and hurt, the ground collapsed half a meter, dust was flying and mixed with the smell of metal. Lin Fan laughed, the jade slip of the spiritual shield in his body was activated, and the invisible energy wall exploded, buzz. The golden ring hit, sparks flew, and the aftermath made Luo Li's skirt fly. She cried out, "What a strong spiritual shield!" Shen Qingqing stared like a belle, "Oh my god, Lin Fan can cast an intermediate shield instantly. Is this a genius?" The golden ring backfired, and Ye Kuang groaned and backed away, his face livid. "You, where did you get the jade slips? 0 spirit stone poor guy." He roared and recalled the bracelet, and the spiritual power surged around his body. The pressure of the peak foundation building was fully activated, and the air squeezed Lin Fan like a substance. Lin Fan smiled contemptuously and pinched 3 explosive talismans in his hand. Jiangqing Lingshi Group. "Nothing. You are a rich beetle. No matter how much money you have, you are just an ant." The talisman was thrown out, red light flashed, and 3 fire clouds fell like meteorites. There was a loud roar, flames engulfed Ye Kuang, heat waves rolled, incense hit his nose, and the iron gate of the school gate melted and dripped, making a sizzling sound. "Ah!" Ye Kuang screamed, his brocade robe was burned, his skin was blistered, and his bracelet fell to the ground dimly. He rolled to the ground to put out the fire, his voice trembling like chaff. "Explosive flame talisman. Top grade. A 500,000 spiritual stone. Where did you get the money?" The followers were stunned, Wang Lei couldn't close his fat mouth. Brother Ye Kuang was burned into a pig? This monster Lin Fan has a mountain of gold hidden in his wallet. Lu Yang got up with weak legs and a trembling voice, "Impossible. We are all watching the live broadcast of the group's recharge. Young Master Yi can't afford 3 high-grade talismans even if he spends 1 billion. The candidates roared with excitement. Lin Fan is invincible. 1 talisman can reach the top. Is he hiding the boss? Lingshi must be fake. Luo Lifang's lips were slightly opened, her pretty face was crimson, and her eyes were shining like stars. This power is 10 times stronger than Ye Chen. Shen Qingqing grabbed her arm and screamed, "Sisterly, Lin Fan is super handsome." The instant fireball shield talisman is like the reincarnation of the immortal emperor. Lin Fan stopped his hand and looked down at Ye Chen like an ant. "Go away, tell your boss, in the world of immortality, I am the only one in the world. Ye Chen. See you next time, I will trample him to death on the god-slaying list." Ye Chen got up, dragged his followers and fled in embarrassment, his back trembling, and the smell of burnt meat lingered in the air, which was unbearable. The whole audience paid homage, but Lin Fan turned around and caught a glimpse of Luo Li. "School beauty, what's the matter?" Luo Li bit her teeth lightly and said in a soft voice, "You changed too much overnight. Be careful in the written test, Ye Chen will not give up." She handed over a jade pendant, the fragrance of which filled her nostrils. "This is my sound transmission jade, we need to contact you soon." Shen Qingqing blinked. "Brother Lin Fan, add a friend. We support you in torturing the rich second generation." Lin Fan nodded and accepted, feeling warm in his heart, but waved in a low-key manner, "Thank you. I'll see you in the examination hall." He blended into the crowd, and the candidates gave way, his eyes worshipping like pilgrims. After returning to the dormitory, Lin Fan closed the door and sat cross-legged, burning with excitement. Open the mental wallet and recharge. Top up. The balance rolled to 1 billion or 10 billion. Buy all the midterm foundation building resources. The mall was frantically scanning for goods. 10 bottles of top-quality foundation building pills, 1 million per bottle, 100 bottles of Tianling Jinghua liquid, 500,000 each, and 1,000 golden body and bone forging pills, 10,000 spirit stones each. The bed was filled with elixirs, the fragrance filled the air like a sea of clouds, and the aura was so rich that the walls of the dormitory were covered with frost and buzzed. Lin Fan swallowed 5 bottles of foundation building pills in one breath, and the spiritual tide hit his dantian like a tsunami. The meridians expanded 100 times, the bones shone with golden light and made a crisp sound like a dragon's roar, the muscles swelled like dragon scales, the vision penetrated the wall and saw the stars in the night sky, the hearing caught the chirping of insects 10,000 meters away, the scent of elixir mixed with spiritual mist in the nose, and thin spiritual flames sprayed from every pore. Late stage of foundation establishment. No, the great perfection of foundation establishment. Lin Fan opened his eyes, and a golden light shot out from his eyes. He punched out, the air burst, the wall was pierced, and the aftermath shook the floor. The bedboard of the lower bunk shattered and he laughed. "Ye Chen, you are at the bottom of the god-slaying list." As the night fell, the giant screen in the campus square lit up, and the god-slaying list was updated. Ye Chen fell out of the top 10, and the serious injury announcement flooded the screen. Comments exploded. "Who is Lin Fan? Killed the school tyrant Ye Chen in one battle, and burned the group's deacon. Hidden monster." At the same time, on the top floor of Jiangqing Lingshi group building, Ye Chen was wrapped in gauze and kneeling on the ground. His father, Ye Tianqing, smashed his cell phone angrily. "Trash. Where did Lin Fan get the spirit stone? Investigate." For the written test, I recharged tens of billions to give him the lowest theoretical score. In a simulated battle, I hired a killer to kill him. We auctioned resources and used the money to kill this poor loser. In the examination room, the invigilator's bell roared like thunder, causing the candidates' eardrums to buzz. The air was filled with the nervous smell of sweat and ink, and the fluctuations in spiritual power were as oppressive as the tide. A soundproof spiritual shield appeared around each seat, humming and low to isolate whispers. Lin Fan sat down, with the test paper in front of him flashing with inspiration, and hundreds of questions poured out like a river of stars: the foundation building spiritual power operation formula, the deduction of the 9 palace formations, the taboos of the golden elixir, the 99 transformations of the spiritual stone purification. The difficulty was close to that of the immortal sect entrance examination, and candidates with no basic knowledge were shocked to see it. Ye Chen was sitting in the front row, with his head wrapped in gauze like a mummy. He glanced at him with a sinister gaze, a sneer on his lips, and the Lingshi wallet app on his wrist dinged. The top-level written test auxiliary jade talisman exchanged for Wanling stone was activated, and the golden light disappeared between his eyebrows. He whispered and laughed ferociously, and his voice came out through the spirit shield: Lin Fan, so what if I burned my cousin last night? In the written theory test, poor people will always be at the bottom. My dad spent tens of billions this morning, and my jade charm is a special gift from the college. I am sure to get full marks. The candidates around him whispered. Wang Lei's fat face twisted and he lowered his voice: Young Master Yi, you are so powerful. That loser Lin Fan pretended to be lucky last night. This theory test will kill him. Lu Yang nodded like a mince, with vicious eyes. Yes, Ling stone, I can't even afford a jade slip, I'll probably collapse on the first question. Lin Fan lowered his head, his face was pale and weak, but his heart was as cold as ice. The balance of the wallet in his mind flashed to tens of billions. He moved his fingers slightly, secretly recharging 500 million, and frantically rated them all. Xianmen specially provided the jade talisman for the super divine written test: 100 million spiritual stones, 10,000 volumes of knowledge empowerment, the talisman for formation deduction, 50 million, and the Jade Book of Alchemy Encyclopedia, 80 million. The knowledge of the Jade Talisman is like the big explosion of the universe blasting into the sea of consciousness. The path of the spiritual power formula is instantly clear, the 9 palaces of the formation are changing like the lines on the palm, the taboos of the alchemy are like the instinctive breathing, every breath is mixed with the fragrance of spiritual energy, and the nose is filled with the fragrance of books and ink mixed with the mist of golden elixir. The invigilating elders were patrolling, and the pressure of the peak of foundation building was swept away. Lin Fan pretended to be trembling and bent down at his desk, but in fact he was acting like a snake. For the first question, 9-turn cycle formula of foundation building spiritual power, he swung his pen like lightning, the runes flashed with aura, and perfectly solved the 99 variations. In the surrounding spiritual shield, the examinees were dripping with cold sweat on their foreheads. Some were biting their pens and shaking, with ink splattering on their faces. This formula is abnormal, you can't push it out. One person collapsed and roared, the test paper was burned to ashes, and the smell of burnt was in his nose. The invigilator shouted angrily, waste paper, get out. At dawn, the college entrance examination written test bell rang loudly. Outside the examination room, Ye Chen stared at Lin Fan's back with a sinister smile. You loser, the theory of the written test tests spiritual power formulas and alchemy knowledge. You have zero foundation, so get out of the bottom. I recharged Wanling stone this morning and bought the top written test support jade. I will kill you with full marks. Lin Fan stepped into the examination room with a cold smile. The game has begun. Ye Chen caught a glimpse of Lin Fan's writing speed and sneered loudly, look, you're scribbling. I've solved 50 questions and got a perfect score of butchering a dog. His brows were filled with golden light, and the test paper flashed with inspiration. The candidates gasped in envy. Young Master Yi, top up the Wanling stone value. Wang Lei peeked at Lin Fan, his fat lips trembling. Haha, Lin Fan's face is as white as a ghost, he must have fainted. Time flies, 3 hours are like a white horse. Lin Fan puts away the pen, the test paper is golden light, and the vision of perfect score makes the invigilator's eyes widen. Is this perfect? The formation deduces the 9 palaces and 18 changes, and one stroke forms the formation. The elder's voice trembled, and his spiritual consciousness scanned the test paper, buzzing. Boy, you have access to the 9 palaces in the early stage of foundation building? Impossible. Lin Fan smiled lightly, stood up and left, with his back like a mountain, and the scent of ink lingering in the air. Outside the examination room, the sun was dazzling, and the candidates rushed out. The smell of sweat and the sour smell of vomiting were mixed. Some people sat down and cried, "You are at the bottom, there is no hope for immortality, go home and lick your shoes." Ye Chen swaggered out, the golden light of the jade talisman faded away, and he was full of confidence. "I am guaranteed to be in the top 3, where is Lin Fan? I guess he is still graffiti." Wang Lei and Lu Yang gathered around, shouting excitedly, "Master Yi, perfect score. Lin Fan is dead, last night's luck is over." The giant screen suddenly lit up, and the results of the written examination were announced like thunder for 9 days. The rankings are scrolling. Luo Li is ranked first with perfect scores, Ye Chen is ranked second with 99 points, third, and 10th is Lin Fan with full scores. Boom! The whole place was silent, and then exploded. The examinees glared like bells, and some people rubbed their eyes and yelled, "Lin Fan." The loser got a perfect score of 10th. Crushing Ye Chen for second place. Wang Lei opened his fat mouth into an O shape, and his legs went soft and he knelt down, his voice trembling, "Ghost, ghost. How can he solve the 9 palaces of the formation? I can't figure out the first change." Lu Yang's face turned pale, his pants were wet, and the smell of urine filled the air. Full marks, jade talisman. Where did the 0 spirit stone come from? Luo Li and Shenqingqing were waiting against the wall, with the school bells' black hair fluttering, the fragrant breeze blowing from their noses, and their beautiful eyes scanning the crowd. Shenqingqing stamped her feet and said coquettishly, "Sisterly, where is brother Lin Fan? The written test is super difficult, he has 0 foundation and is in danger." Luo Li bit her teeth, the sound transmission jade was slightly hot. He completed the foundation building last night, maybe he had an adventure. Before he finished speaking, Lin Fan appeared, everyone's eyes were focused on him. Wang Lei was stunned at first, and then he smiled sinisterly, "Hey, the loser is out. What's the score of the written test?" 0 eggs. Ye Chen's pupils burst and blood seeped out from under the gauze. He was furious, pointed at Lin Fan and roared, "Cheating. This poor idiot has 0 foundation and full marks are fake. Invigilate the exam and check his wallet. I checked last night and his balance is 0. The voice said like a wolf howling, the air was torn apart, and the smell of hot blood hit the nostrils. The candidates around him were talking a lot. Yes, cheating. Young Master Yi is already a god, and Lin Fan is hiding the rich second generation. No way, last night he burned 500,000 pieces of Yi Kuang talisman paper, where did the money come from? The invigilator elder flew over and scanned Lin Fan's wallet with his spiritual sense, only to see that the remaining balance was hidden and flickering, with nothing on the surface. He frowned, there is no trace of cheating, full score is true. Ye Chen, shut up. Ye Chen was furious, rushed forward and roared with fists, "Lin Fan. You copied my jade talisman. Where did the money come from?" His fist was wrapped in spiritual power and decayed gold, and it hit Lin Fan's face, causing heat waves to evaporate. Lin Fan's eyes were cold, and the spiritual pressure of foundation establishment Dzogchen was slightly released. Bang! He grabbed Ye Chen's fist with one hand, like pinching an insect, and the bones cracked. Ye Chen screamed and knelt down, his face twisted like a ghost. "Ah! My hand! Foundation establishment Dzogchen." Lin Fan looked down with contempt, and his voice was like thunder. "Ye Chen, I scored 10th in the written test, and I beat you second. Money? Even the tens of billions from Jiangqing Lingshi group can't afford me. In the world of immortality, you bastards of money, get out." With one kick, Ye Chen flew 10 meters away and vomited blood. The gauze collapsed, and the smell of burnt meat was pungent. The whole audience was shocked, and the candidates shouted, "Lin Fan is invincible. A perfect score slaps Mr. Yi in the face. The status is reversed, the rich second generation is kneeling." Wang Lei and Lu Yang crawled to the ground trembling, and their voices were like sieves. Boss Lin Fan, spare your life. We were wrong, you are the immortal emperor. Luo Liying's lips were slightly opened, her beautiful eyes were rippling, and her pretty face was blushing as she stepped forward. Lin Fan, you got a perfect score in the written test, but you hit it too deeply. Where did this jade talisman come from? The fragrant wind blew, and the sound transmission jade buzzed and heated. She gently held Lin Fan's arm, as soft as if it were boneless. Shen Qingqing screamed and rushed forward, hugging Luo Li's arm and blinking wildly. Sisterly, brother Lin Fan is awesome. 10th out of 10, Ye Chen is second, haha. Come on, brother, let me introduce the circle. The top geniuses of the Luo family and Shen family, add you as friends, share resources and abuse rich beetles. The app on her mobile phone dinged, and Lin Fan's circle surged by 100 people, and messages flooded the screen. Big brother's advice. Full marks, worship. Lin Fan smiled lightly and nodded, spitting out his spiritual power. Ye Chen's spiritual pressure collapsed. He got up and retreated in panic, his eyes as hateful as a snake. Lin Fan. You are cruel. What does the written test count for? In the real combat simulation battle for admissions, I will form a team of 10 people to build the peak to surround and slaughter you. On the god-slaying list, I will crush your head. He dragged Wang Lei and Lu Yang and fled, his back trembling, and the blood trail was long on the floor, and the stench filled the air. The candidates knelt and licked the tide, and some kowtowed. Brother Lin Fan, accept a disciple. The top 10 gods will be included in the immortal sect. Luo Li's eyes were like stars, and she whispered softly, be careful in actual combat, Ye Chen's family hires assassins. Send a message to contact, and I will help you. Shen Qingqing dragged Lin Fan, brother, the genius in the circle is waiting for you. Ye Chen forms a team. Let's recruit people to kill him. Lin Fan's heart was filled with enthusiasm, but he said in a low-key manner, thank you. I'll see you in action. His figure blended into the crowd, and his adoring eyes followed him like ocean waves. The giant screen flashes, and the actual enrollment announcement is announced. Tomorrow's simulation battle will begin, and the god-slaying list will be reset. News of the formation of the team in Ye Chen's shadow spread, and 10 top foundation building elites gathered together with a ferocious smile, surround and kill Lin Fan for a bounty of 100 million spirit stones. As night fell, the aura of Lin Fan's dormitory was shrouded like mist. He sat cross-legged and swallowed a bottle of Tianling Jinghua liquid. It was as cool as a jade spring pouring into his body. His meridians were filled with golden light, and his spiritual energy was boiling and humming. Recharge your mental wallet with hundreds of billions, and scan items to simulate the god of war outfit, heavenly flying sword Zhan Shen, 1 billion, 100 teleportation talismans, 500 million, and 10 golden body indestructible pills, 100 million each. The flying sword buzzed out of its sheath, and the sword energy was torn away. The sword marks on the wall of the dormitory were deep, and the cold light reflected on the face like frost. Ye Chen, encirclement and suppression. Come on, kill the gods, I dominate. Lin Fan laughed, his eyes shot golden light, piercing the night sky, and saw the lights of Ye Chen's camp. The faint laughter of 10 people could be heard, and the murderous intent was like a wave. The aura of the arena with tens of thousands of people erupted like a tsunami, the red light curtain tore through the sky, and the bloody atmosphere of the monster forest instantly hit our faces. The ground trembled violently, and the ground cracked under the feet of tens of thousands of candidates, turning into countless vortexes of green shadows, swallowing them up and sucking them into the void. Screams and muffled sounds of friction between flesh and bone were mixed together. The air was filled with the smell of damp rotten leaves mixed with the low roars of monsters, and the nasal cavity felt like it was being pulled by an iron hook. Lin Fan's figure flashed and landed firmly on the ground. The ancient trees were towering into the sky, the vines were coiled like giant pythons, the green light of the demonic pupils shone faintly in the mist, and murderous intent surged like a tide. Buzz. The giant screen floated in mid-air, the god-slaying list was reset, the points were cleared, and the rules spirit roared, 3 days of simulated battle, points for hunting beasts, killing candidates, and team contributions. The top 100 will enter the bidding process, and the God-Slayer will be the only one. The candidates ran away, and some were knocked down by low-level iron-toothed wolves as soon as they landed. Heart-rending screams echoed, blood spattered like rain, and the smell of rust was pungent. Ye Chen showed up with 10 young men at the peak of foundation building. His eyes were filled with hatred under his gauze head. He glanced at Lin Fan's lone figure and sneered like a knife, waiting alone. In the monster forest, the losers with 0 teams should feed the wolves. Brothers, first get to the top 10 in terms of monster suppression points, and then surround and slaughter the forest. Fan, a bounty of 100 million spirit stones. Wan Lei and Lu Yang contorted with a sinister smile, young Master Yi. Lin Fan showed off yesterday and died in the belly of the wolf. The casual cultivators around him looked pitifully, you have only been fighting alone in the past 10 days. Team Yi is at the top of the list. At dawn the next day, the aura of the simulated battlefield rose, and the arena with thousands of people was like a Shura field, with a premonition of blood blowing against our faces. Ye Chen led his team to show up, and the 10 swords sounded in unison, Lin Fan, come out and die. The whole place was boiling, Luo Li and Shenqingqing's beautiful eyes were anxious, and the candidates commented, encirclement and suppression of the top 10. Lin Fan is in danger. Lin Fan stepped onto the field, with a cold arc at the corner of his mouth, the massacre begins. Lin Fan's figure disappeared into the mist, walking alone and low-key. On the surface, his spiritual pressure was weak in the initial stage of foundation building, but in reality, the flying sword of the god-slaying god was buzzing in his sleeves, and the teleportation talisman was burning against his skin. The wallet in his mind jingled, with unlimited trillions of recharges. He smiled lightly and scanned the goods, thousands of explosive flame talisman, 10 million each, 10,000 spirit rejuvenating pills, 10,000 each, and 100,000 monster hunting poison needles. A pack of iron-toothed wolves roared in front of them, 10 of them with green eyes and mouths filled with blood. Their claws were like knives tearing through the air, and their rotten beast breath hit their nostrils. When passers-by saw the candidates from a distance, they turned pale and backed away, wolves. Foundation building demon, the lone walker is doomed. One person screamed and ran away, Lin Fan, that idiot, bumped into the Wolf King as soon as he entered the forest, and his points were reset to 0. Lin Fan's eyes were cold, and he raised one hand, and the god-destroying flying sword, Buzz, came out of its sheath. The sword energy was like a silver dragon tearing through the fog, and the cold light reflected the wolves' pupils and their pupils burst. The first iron-toothed wolf jumped into the air and bit, its claws clawing at the ancient wood, and the debris fell like rain. Lin Fan flashed his teleportation talisman, the ghost moved sideways, and the flying sword flashed past. The wolf's head flew into the sky, blood gushed out like a fountain, and the stench of burnt meat and rust intertwined. The wolves howled wildly and pounced on Lin Fan, his figure was like the wind, sword light weaved a web, 10 swords killed instantly, stumps and broken arms piled up, green blood soaked the ground slippery, and the giant screen of points jumped wildly, Lin Fan plus 100. The passers-by stared like a dead fish, and knelt down with weak legs, 1 sword to massacre. Kill the peak wolf pack in the early stage of foundation building. It's amazing. One person rubbed his eyes and roared, 10th on the god-slaying list. Lin Fan is invincible alone, and Team Yi still laughs at him. Lin Fan sheathed his sword and swallowed a pill of spiritual elixir. The cool spiritual spring filled his meridians, the golden body's indestructible elixir was slightly transported, and his physical body buzzed with golden light. The hunting continues, low-level fire-tailed foxes and poisonous thorn pythons are all under the sword, the foggy forest is crisscrossed with blood, and monster corpses are piled up in the mountains. In the bloody wind and rain, he sits cross-legged and performs his exercises. The heavenly spirit pure liquid pours out, and the fragrance is like jade mist. The spiritual power boils and breaks through the bottleneck. The foundation is stable in the later stage of building, and the foundation of Dzogchen is even stronger. The points on the giant screen skyrocketed, the top 20 flickered, Lin Fan ranked 10th, and the candidates excitedly discussed, walking in the top 20 alone. In the monster forest, he is the god of hunting. Suddenly, 3 of Ye Chen's younger brothers emerged from the shadows. They were in the middle stage of foundation building for the first time. The Lingshi wallet flashed with wealth. They held the mid-level fire cloud gun and blocked the road with a ferocious smile. Lin Fan. Yi Shaoling, the lone traveler dies. Turn over the points and spare your life. The other 2 people were surrounded with a sinister smile in the early stage of foundation building. Their spears exploded and flaming talismans were fired. The trees were scorched black by the heat wave and the smoke was choking their noses. Passers-by watched from a distance, shook their heads and sighed. Ye Chen's men are flanked by 3 people, and the top 10 are in danger. Lin Fan is finished, the points go to Team Yi. Zhang Kuang smiled ferociously and magnified, wait, I tested my luck in writing yesterday, here comes the sword. The wind of the gun roared, piercing the heart. The corner of Lin Fan's mouth turned cold, buzz. The god-destroying flying sword exploded, and the sword energy poured out like a celestial river. In a flash, the man was killed with a mad gun, the head rolled down, the broken neck's hot blood sprayed like mist, and the smell of burnt meat hit his nostrils. The other 2 boys' pupils burst, their legs were weak and they knelt down, their pants were soaked with wet urine. Big boss, please forgive me. One sword in the middle of a second. We were wrong, young Master Yi forced it. Lin Fan's spiritual pressure was slightly released, and his peak power in the late stage of foundation building was like a mountain pressing down on top. The 2 men had nosebleeds and their bones were rattling. He said softly, vote to me and you will have unlimited resources. Betrayal and die. With a flick of his finger, 2 bottles of top-quality foundation building pills flew out. The golden light was bright and the fragrance of the pills was as fragrant as fairy dew. The 2 stared and trembled, their voices trembling. Lin. Brother Lin is invincible. We are against Ye Chen, and we will kill the gods with you. The giant screen points plus 300, Lin Fan is in the top 15, the 2 brothers app friend Ding Dang, Brother Lin's magic pill. That scumbag Ye Chen is sold. Luo Li's team flashed into the forest, her green hair was flying, and her spiritual pressure at the peak of foundation building was pouring out like moonlight. Shen Qingqing followed closely, her delicate body trembling slightly. Sisterly, it's too dangerous for Brother Lin Fan to go alone. The sound transmission jade contacted him and pulled him into the team. Luo Li's beautiful eyes glanced. Dang Wulin bit her cherry lips and said, he has his own sense of proportion. Hunt first, don't lose points. The 2 genius followers in the team nodded like garlic and worshipped. Team Luo is invincible. The school bell ranks first with full marks, and all the monsters are slaughtered. At the same time, Luo Li's team was deep in the mire, and the dragons roared out of the quagmire at the peak of foundation establishment. Their scales were like iron. The poisonous mist sprayed and corroded the ancient trees with a sizzling sound, and the sour smell choked their lungs. The dragon's tail swept across, and the 2 followers flew out with screams. Bones were broken, tendons were broken, and blood and flesh were blurred. Shen Qingqing screamed and retreated, sisterly, peak demon. The team is scattered. Luo Li's pretty face was pale, and she swung the foundation establishment peak spirit sword. The light of the sword was like moonlight cutting off scales, but only leaving a shallow mark. The tiger's mouth collapsed due to the shock, blood stained her sleeves, and she was dripping with fragrant sweat. The dragon's huge mouth bites, and the fishy wind hits his face. The passing cultivator flees far away, the school beauty team is destroyed. The Dragon King has no solution, even the geniuses who have been here for 100 years have knelt down. In the shadow, Lin Fan's teleportation talisman flashed, and the god-slaying flying sword stabbed out silently. The sword energy penetrated 7 inches of the dragon, boom. The demon corpse exploded, green blood poured down like rain, and the inner elixir rolled down and shimmered with golden light. Luo Li gasped and looked back, only to see the afterimage flash. Lin Fan had disappeared, the points were huge, Team Luo plus 500, her beautiful eyes widened, her heart beating like a deer. This sword energy, Lin Fan. Secretly save me. Shen Qingqing rushed forward, hugged Luo Li and blinked wildly. Sister Li is blushing. I'm sure brother Lin Fan, before walking alone 15, divine sword instant dragon. Matchmaking, I'll send a message to him. Luo Li said softly, thank you, Lin Fan. The soft voice was like silk, and the fragrant wind lingered. Lin Fan smiled lightly, it's a small thing. Her lips curled up, and her eyes were watery. The initial strength was just formed, and the three of them gathered together in a low-key manner. Lin Fan distributed 100 teleportation talismans and 10 golden body pills. The younger brothers swallowed the pills and were ecstatic, their spiritual power buzzed and they knelt and licked in admiration. Brother Lin has an unlimited wallet. Ye Chen of Jiangqing Lingshi group is counting on tens of billions. Let's recruit loose cultivators and form a team to slaughter Ye. Lin Fan nodded and disappeared into the depths of the foggy forest. Shen Qingqing held excitedly, Sister Li is tempted. Brother Lin Fan has established his power, his younger brother is against Ye Chen, and all the geniuses in the circle call him the boss. During the bidding process, he has unlimited money to kill Yi. Luo Li nodded, the team reorganized, and the points increased. Buzz. The forest light curtain collapsed, and tens of thousands of people teleported out. The arena was filled with dazzling sunlight and the smell of blood and sweat. The elder invigilator looked down and said in a thunderous voice, after the mock battle, the top 100 will enter the bidding. Bid for heaven-level magic weapons and immortal sect quotas, and the spirit stone will be the king. Ye Chen's eyes were dark under the gauze, and he recharged his wallet app with tens of billions, aiming at the heaven-level defense Lin Fan needed. The Imperial Treasure Armor, Xuanwu Scale Armor, whispered with a ferocious smile, Lin Fan, during the bidding period, I will spend hundreds of billions to cut off your roots. The rich second generation, I will crush you to death. Wang Lei and Lu Yang gathered around, trembling with excitement, young Master Yi is invincible. Lin Fan is in the top 10. The bidding is 0. Lin Fan led the three men on a hunting spree, accumulating monster corpses and breaking into the top 10 in points. The younger brothers hunted with ferocious smiles, and passers-by expressed their admiration. Lin Fan's power has risen. The third younger brother's power has skyrocketed in the middle of foundation building, and the pills are raining like rain, it's amazing. The giant screen flashed, and the 3 days were about to end, and the simulated battle was over. Lin Fan was number 8 on the god-slaying list, and Ye Chen was number 5, sneering. In the center of the arena, a giant aura bidding platform was suspended in midair. The red-gold light curtain flickered like dragon scales. The air was filled with the orchid aroma of high-level elixirs mixed with the cold mineral smell of metallic spirit stones. It was pungent but made people's hearts beat faster. Thousands of candidates crowded into the terrace stands, and only 100 days before they circled the bidding platform, their spiritual pressure intertwined and buzzed like thunder. The elder invigilator's white hair was flying, and the power of the peak foundation building was as strong as the top of the mountain. The thunderous voice boomed, the bidding is open. Heaven-level magic weapons, direct quotas for immortal gates, companion spirit beast cubs, and spirit stones are king. Rules, 1 price, 3 calls, no upper limit. Points will be added to the top 100, and the god-slaying list will be ranked according to the bidding resources. The whole place was in a state of excitement, staring at the bidding table like wolves and tigers. Ye Chen's gauze-covered head twisted in an eerie way, leading Wang Lei and Lu Yang to stand proudly in the front row. The phantom of his wallet app flashed with tens of billions of balances, and the golden light was dazzling. He glanced at Lin Fan's lonely figure, sneered like a poisonous snake and spat out a message: "Lin Fan is a good-for-nothing, he's just lucky to be in the top 10. During the bidding period, the poor loser Lingshi, kneel down and lick the soles of my feet. Brothers, watch me smash the Xuanwu scales and heavenly armor he needs, and break them off root." Wang Lei and Lu Yang contorted their fat faces and agreed with a ferocious smile: "Young Master Yi is invincible. Lin Fan has an empty wallet, and he is bidding for 0 eggs. He has fallen out of the top 100 of the God Slayer list, so get out of here." The rich second-generation candidates around him snickered and agreed, and the casual cultivator shook his head. Sighing, Ye Chen family Lingshi group, the overlord of Jiangqing, started with tens of billions. "Lin Fan's lone genius is useless, poor man kneels down." Luo Li's beautiful eyes narrowed slightly, she bit her lips and whispered, "Lin Fan, is the Lingshi enough?" Shen Qingqing clenched her small hands. The delicate body trembled slightly. "Sisterly, brother Lin Fan is in the top 8 alone, and he must have a backup plan with the divine sword instant dragon. But Ye Chen is a scumbag with a deep family background. His father, Ye Tianqing, is the monopoly king of spiritual stones in Jiangqing. He hired countless assassins and spent hundreds of millions to chase brother Lin Fan yesterday." Lin Fan was sitting in the back row, surrounded by 3 former Ye Chen brothers, with their eyes fervently whispering, "Brother Lin's wallet is unlimited, it's easy to kill Yi. Our app friends have roped in 10 casual cultivators, bidding to follow suit." The corner of Lin Fan's mouth slightly arched, the wallet in his mind jingled wildly. There was no upper limit to the recharge of trillions, and the remaining shadow was hidden in his sleeve like a galaxy. He kept a low profile as he shopped for goods, and all the auxiliary resources of the peak golden elixir for foundation building were marked. It appeared that his spiritual pressure was weak in the late stage of foundation building. Passers-by whispered in pity, "Lin Fan pretends to be poor, and Mr. Yi will crush him to death in 1 round. The first item. 100 pills of the peak explosive fire pill for foundation establishment, an intermediate pill, starting at 5 billion spirit stones. The elder waved his hand, the golden bottle was suspended, the fragrance of the pill was like a volcano erupting, the heat wave hit the face and choked the nose, and the candidate's nasal cavity was burning. Ye Chen held up the sign with a grim smile, 6 billion. The audience gasped, and Wang Lei roared, "Young Master Yi." Exclusive to the peak of explosive flame pill foundation building, Lin Fan stared at Lingshi. The casual cultivator's face turned pale, 6 billion. The Yi family has a monopoly on the Lingshi mine, crushing the whole crowd. Lin Fan's eyes were cold, and he slowly raised the sign, 7 billion. The voice was as calm as water, but it sounded like thunder. The pupils of the audience suddenly shrank, and passers-by rubbed their eyes and yelled, "Lin Fan's 7 billion? Where did the loser's wallet come from? It's fake." Ye Chen's eyes were twisted with hatred under the gauze, and he smiled ferociously at the price increase, 8 billion. "Useless man pretending to be rich, I have endless mines, get out." Wang Lei and Lu Yang trembled with excitement, "Young Master Yi is so powerful. Lin Fan kneels down when he is bankrupt." Lin Fan smiled lightly and raised his hand again, 10 billion. The phantom of the wallet surged infinitely, and the spiritual stones poured onto the bidding platform like a tide, and the red gold light illuminated the pale faces of the audience. The elder glared and muttered, 10 billion. The hammer dropped with 3 shouts, buzz. The explosive pill flew into Lin Fan's hand, and the pill bottle buzzed with heat. The third younger brother knelt down and licked in ecstasy, "Brother Lin is invincible. His wallet is like a black hole, Master Yi will lose 8 billion. The casual cultivator candidate knelt down with weak legs and his voice trembled, "Lin Fan hides his wealth. 10 billion is easy to hand, and Jiangqing Lingshi King Ye Tianqing can't even start with tens of billions. He is the only one on the god-slaying list." Luo Lifang, her eyes widened, her heart beating like a deer, and her lips parted slightly. "Lin Fan has an amazing family background. Shen Qingqing rushed to Luo Li and whispered, gossiping and blinking, sisterly, brother Lin Fan's wallet is full of bugs. Yesterday, I rescued Jiao secretly, and Chuan Yinra thanked him for calmness. He is definitely a boss. We have made a match. Ye Chen's face was ashen, beads of sweat rolled down under the gauze, and he turned to roar with a ferocious smile, luck. The next piece, black tortoise scale armor, a heaven-level armor, starting price is 20 billion. The golden armor floated, the black light of the scales flowed, the defensive spiritual pressure was like a mountain, and the air was stagnant and the smell of cold minerals hit his nostrils. Ye Chen wildly shouted, 25 billion. Lin Fan, I tailor-made this for you, please kneel down and thank me. Wan Lei and Lu Yang gathered around and laughed ferociously, young Master Yi, prophet. Lin Fan bid 0, has no armor, and the simulated battle points are in vain. The audience echoed and ridiculed, the poor loser is dead. Ye Chen's 100 billion finale. Lin Fan's eyes were scornful looking down at an ant, he raised his hand slowly, 30 billion. The whole place was dead silent, and then he exploded and screamed, 30 billion. Lin Fan is crazy, where is the wallet? Ye Chen's pupils burst, and the veins on his forehead popped out, he raised the price and screamed, 35 billion. I, the Yi family's spirit stone veins, will smash you. Sweat choked his nose, and his wallet balance dropped wildly. Lin Fan coldly added, 50 billion. The torrent of spiritual stones roared and poured out, and the golden light of the bidding platform exploded like the sun. The elder's legs trembled, 50 billion. After 3 calls, the hammer fell, and the Xuanwu scale armor flew to Lin Fan with a buzz. The light reflected the scales, and Ye Chen's face was twisted like a ghost. Wan Lei and Lu Yang had a fat face and turned pale, and their pants were wet with urine. They knelt down and trembled wildly, Yi. Mr. Yi, 50 billion. Lin Fan's wallet has no bottom, it's amazing. The genius of the casual cultivator was worshipping, and his voice was trembling, the rich second generation is like a dog. Lin Fan despises the Yi family, the king of spiritual stone wallet bugs, and has direct access to the immortal gate. Luo Li's pretty face turned red, her eyes were trembling. Bo Shuidang whispered, Lin Fan, thank you for the secret rescue, this. Shen Qingqing hugged Luo Li and shook her wildly, Sister Li is blushing. Lin Fan's brother slaughters you like a chicken, family background. Ye Chen's father, Ye Chen, is the spiritual stone overlord of Jiangqing. Yesterday he hired a killer to burn the pig's head. Now he has collapsed and joined forces with other rich second generation to attack Lin Fan's brother. The crisis is huge. Luo Li and Shen Qingqing came forward, Lin Fan smiled lightly, and the 3 younger brothers knelt and licked, Brother Lin, bid on the butcher leaves. The eyes of the whole audience gathered together, and there was a flood of admiration. The bidding war started with murderous intent again. The bidding continued, and Ye Chen smashed his eyes with red eyes. The price for the Peak Foundation building flying sword, blood shadow sword, was 30 billion. He shouted, 40 billion. Lin Fan said lightly, 60 billion. The blood light of the sword fell into Lin Fan's sleeves. Ye Chen's wallet was exhausted, and he collapsed and shouted, Dad. Turn around. The balance of the app is only 1 billion, Wang Lei and Lu Yang cried, young Master Yi is finished. Lin Fan has bought all the infinite spiritual stones. The whole crowd stared in admiration, Brother Lin Fan, I am begging for mercy with my empty wallet. Lin Fan secretly transmitted the message that the jade was hot, and the wallet quietly transferred 25 billion to Luo Li's app, ding. Luo Li's wallet jumped wildly, and the silver fox fell into her arms. The fox licked the jade hand gently, and the warm fur was soft and fragrant. Her beautiful eyes widened, looking back at Lin Fan's afterimage, her heart beating wildly, her voice was as soft as silk, Lin Fan, you saved me again. Why do you always? Lin Fan replied calmly, fate. The little fox protects you. Luo Lifang's lips curled up, her pretty face blushed like morning glow. Shen Qingqing pounced. Bagua blinked wildly. Sister Li is tempted. Brother Lin Fan secretly gives away the spirit beast, and the wallet is infinitely romantic. Ye Chen is dumbfounded. Ye Tianqing, the family of Ye Tianqing, killed all the killers yesterday. Now he joins forces with the second-generation Zhao family of Jinghai to snipe brother Lin Fan. In the final battle of the god-slaying list, murderous intent is everywhere. The next item is the companion spirit beast, the Yuehua silver fox cub, the perfect fit for foundation building. The starting shot is 15 billion. The silver fox's body was curled up in the cage, the moonlight plush was soft, and the fragrance was like orchid mist. Luo Li's beautiful eyes lit up and she raised her hand lightly. 18 billion. Shen Qingqing jumped excitedly. Sister Li is invincible. The silver fox companion is, the combat power is doubled. Ye Chen raised the price of the remaining spirit stone. 20 billion. School beauty, get out. Luo Li's face turned pale, her wallet balance was only 190, she bit her lips and lowered her head. The whole audience sighed. Ye Chen's remaining blood won, it's sinister. Ye Chen's eyes were poisonous under the gauze, and he secretly sent a message to the second generation of the Zhao family in Jinghai. Young Master Zhao, join forces to attack Lin Fan. Ye Tianqing, transfer the money, and the bounty is trillions. The Zhao family genius replied with a sinister smile, deal. In the battle of the gods, Lin Fan will die alone. Wang Lei and Lu Yang trembled in agreement, and murderous intent surged into the fog around the arena. Lin Fan swallowed a top-quality golden elixir and auxiliary elixir, then hid in a corner and sat cross-legged. His spiritual power was like a volcano erupting. Heavenly spirit pure essence poured out, and the fragrant jade mist enveloped his meridians. The bottleneck shattered with a boom. The initial spiritual pressure of the golden elixir was hidden like an abyss. The god-destroying flying sword buzzed in his sleeves. His eyes swept the whole place with contempt. Come on, ants. Lin Fan smiled and nodded, and the three younger brothers worshipped and shouted, Brother Lin is in love. The school belle of Luo is in love, the forces are united, and we are bidding for the god of slaughter. The whole audience was filled with admiration. The elder invigilator looked down at Lei Ming. The bidding is over. Lin Fan is number 1 in terms of resources, and he is currently 8th on the list of god slayers. The final stage, the battle for the god slayer begins. The top 100 melee, the kill points are doubled, and there is no limit to joining forces. There are 10 seats in the immortal sect, and there is no way to kill. The teleportation vortex exploded with a boom, and the dazzling aura pierced his eyes like thousands of silver needles. The air around him twisted into a fierce wind, mixed with the smell of rotten leaves of the ancient jungle and the omen of blood. Lin Fan's figure landed firmly on the ground, stepping on the black rocks, and there was a slight tremor in the soles of his feet. Surrounded by the boundless ancient battlefield, thousands of feet of ancient trees towering into the sky, vines coiled like giant pythons, hidden beasts roaring and lowing in the mist, the air was moist and sticky, and the sense of smell was invaded by the strong smell of earth and spirit animal feces and urine. The battlefield of the god-slaying contest is 100 miles in radius, and only the last 100 days are randomly scattered. The killing points are instantly projected on the sky light screen, and the blood-red numbers flicker like ghosts. Lin Fan took a deep breath, and the spiritual energy in his lungs poured in like a tide. The initial spiritual pressure of the hidden golden elixir was quietly moving. The lingering scent of Tianling Jingua liquid in his meridians was still there, and the cool jade mist washed his body. He glanced around in a low-key manner, and saw that 3 former Ye Chen disciples and Shirsanshio had gathered around him. Their eyes were as fervent as those of a believer kneeling down, and his voice was trembling and he shouted, Brother Lin. The battlefield is random, we have locked your aura, and our forces are all together. Ye Chen, that scumbag, has joined forces with young Master Zhao to ambush the southeastern jungle, with a trillion bounty to spy on you. Genius Xiu worshipped with soft legs, smelled the fragrance of elixir in Lin Fan's sleeves with his nose, and swallowed with eyes wide open. Brother Lin bids for hundreds of billions of slaughter leaves, and the wallet has an infinite black hole. We swear loyalty to the death, and donate all our points. Lin Fan nodded lightly, the wallet in his mind dinged wildly, and the balance surged infinitely. He quietly sat cross-legged on the rock, taking stock of the harvest. The basalt scales in the sleeves buzzed softly, and the mysterious light flowed around the body. The cold mineral smell of the scales hit the nostrils, and the defense was like a mountain pouring down to test the spiritual pressure. The two swords of the god-slaying flying sword and the blood shadow sword buzzed and intertwined, the sword energy tore through the mist and hissed, and the blood light and the cutting light illuminated the pale face. After swallowing 3 of the 100 pills of the explosive flame pill, the heat wave washes over the dantian like a volcanic eruption. The peak strength of the foundation-building medicine turns into spiritual fire and burns the meridians. The bottleneck is faintly loosened. The initial stage of the golden pill is more stable, and the spiritual pressure is hidden like an abyss and a deep pool. The elixir of recovery, the poisonous needle for hunting monsters, the teleportation talisman, and the elixir of golden body are piled up like a mountain. The unlimited wallet can be replenished at any time. The scent of elixir on the nose is intertwined with the poison of the needle tip. Contempt rises in my heart, ants, the spiritual stone is king, and my wallet is unlimited. You guys can kneel down and lick it. After a short period of repair, the sky dome light curtain boomed. The projection points, Ye Chen was 7th, Zhao Xiao was 5th, Lin Fan was 8th, and Luo Li was 3rd. The bang-bang sound of the collision of spiritual pressure came from the distant jungle, and the screams echoed in the fog like howling ghosts and wolves, and the smell of blood became stronger. Shenqingqing's sound transmission jade was hot, and her sweet voice was urgent, Brother Lin Fan. Sister Li's silver fox bodyguard has killed 2 casual cultivators, and she has reached 2nd place in points. Ye Chen's team plus 10 people from Zhao Xiao are outflanking you in the southeast, mocking you for being isolated and helpless. Let's rush, you're late. Luo Li's voice sounded soft and lingering, Lin Fan, be careful, I, the silver fox, have sensed murderous intent, the Zhao Family Foundation establishment peak poison array has been deployed, you. Lin Fan replied with a smile, see you on the battlefield. The tranquility is suddenly broken. The jungle vines in the southeast exploded with a crash, Ye Chen's gauze head emerged gloomily, the spiritual pressure in the late stage of foundation building was violent like a storm, Wang Lei and Lu Yang were surrounded by fat bodies, and the smell of wet pants and urine was permeated. From behind, Zhao Xiao led 10 people from the 2nd generation of Jing Hai Fu to approach with a sinister smile. He raised his paws with a ferocious smile, Lin Fan is a loser. The auction smashed Brother Ye's wallet, I Jinghai Zhaojia Lingshi mine 3 veins, the bounty is trillions, join forces, slaughter the gods and fight alone to die. Kneel down and destroy your dantian, spare your life. Ye Chen's eyes were as hateful as poison. Snake, beads of sweat rolled down under the gauze, and roared, brothers, join forces to snipe. My father Ye Tianqing's transfer has arrived, the poison array is empty, and the explosive flame talisman blasts him. Lin Fan, wallet bug. There are no spiritual stones to sell on the battlefield, the points belong to me, immortal sect, get out. Wang Lei and Lu Yang echoed with a ferocious smile on their fat faces. Thousands of monster-hunting poisonous needles hissed out. The green light reflected the mist and twisted, Ye Xiao Xiao is invincible. Lin Fan has 0 power, and the poisonous needle pierces the heart. The 2nd generation of the 10 richest men of the Zhao family roared in unison, forming a network of foundation-building spiritual pressure. The explosive flame talisman, bang bang, hit the face, the fire light reflected the pale face, and the air was hot and choking. Lin Fan's 3rd younger brother and the casual cultivators' faces turned pale, their legs were weak and they retreated tremblingly. Brother Lin, there are too many people in the poisonous formation, run. The genius of the casual cultivator trembled. There are 20 people in the Zhao Yi alliance, and the poisonous fog seals the sky. The 10 of us can't withstand it, the points are in vain, Brother Lin is in danger. The candidates in the sky projection were peeping, and passers-by were whispering and taunting, Lin Fan is pretending to be rich. It's his luck in the bidding, and he is isolated and surrounded in the actual battle. Luo Li's beautiful eyes widened in the distance, and her heart beat wildly, Lin Fan. If you want to be strong, you should suppress it first, and then you will be pushed to the point of despair. The poisonous needles hit Lin Fan's basalt scales like a torrential downpour. The scales buzzed and sparks flew everywhere. The cold mineral smell blended with the poison. The explosive flame talisman burned the air and bombarded him with heat waves. The scales remained motionless. Lin Fan's figure swayed slightly, and the corner of his mouth curled slightly, ant. He waved his sleeves, and the teleportation talisman, buzz. The ghostly figure disappeared, and the god-slaying flying sword, hissed, ripped out of the poisonous green mist. The sword energy was like a silver dragon, and the blood shadow and sword auxiliary shot blood and light intertwined. The ancient jungle trees were cut and collapsed with a boom, and the smell of sawdust hit his nostrils. Wan Lei was the first to bear the brunt. His fat body exploded with blood, and the poisonous needle backfired and sprayed green blood. He screamed like a pig, Mr. Yi, save, ah. He fell to the ground and twitched, and the light screen, dinged, Lin Fan's point skyrocketed. The whole place was dead silent. The pupils of the candidates watching the battle in the sky shrank suddenly. Passers-by rubbed their eyes and shouted, Lin Fan teleports the sword energy. Wan Lei is like a dog in the middle stage of foundation building with one sword. Lu Yang's fat face collapsed, his pants were wet and he peed again. He turned around and ran away, monster. Sword King Lin Fan, the Zhao Yi alliance collapsed. Zhao Xiaojuan's face turned pale, and the green mist of the poison array was burned away by the sword energy, and the fishy smell turned into ashes. He shivered and backed away, impossible. Dual swords of the heavenly realm. Successful bidding, unlimited spiritual stones. The second generation of the Zhao family knelt down with weak legs, and worshipped with a trembling voice, Boss Lin Fan, spare your life. Let's quit, give us the points. Lin Fan glanced with disdain, and fired 100,000 demon-hunting poisonous needles with a hiss. The needles rained down like black clouds, and the 8 members of the Zhao family spat out green blood. The corpses were scattered in the mud, and the smell of blood and poisonous corpses filled the jungle. Ye Chen's gauze-covered head was twisted like a ghost, and his red eyes used the family's secret technique, blood-soul explosion. In the late stage of foundation building, the spiritual pressure surged and the blood mist filled his nose. Lin Fan smiled lightly and swallowed one pill of the golden body indestructible pill. The golden light of his physical body appeared, and the basalt scales buzzed and pressed against the top of the mountain. The claws hit him with a boom, the scales didn't move, the blood mist bit back at Ye Chen, and the gauze burst into pieces and the pig's head became bloody and bloody. His eyes cracked and he roared, golden elixir. Hidden realm. Lin Fan revealed his invincible posture for the first time. The initial spiritual pressure of the golden elixir, boom, erupted like a volcano, the spiritual energy of the world surged wildly, the jungle storm hunted, and the ancient trees folded with a crisp, click, sound. One palm is enough. Lin Fan pushed slowly with his right hand, and the power of the golden elixir condensed into the palm of his hand, like a mountain avalanche, the air buzzed and exploded, and the heat wave and golden light pressed down. Ye Chen's blood-soul technique shattered, the pig's head was dented with a pop, and the fat body flew hundreds of feet upside down like a kite with a broken string. Boom, smashed 10 ancient trees, blood and mud spattered, and the broken bones made an ear-piercing, squeak, sound. Blood foam spurted out of his mouth, Dad, save. The remaining 2 young masters of Zhao ran away with their heads in their hands, kneeling and trembling, Lin Fan's hen. The Zhao Yi alliance is completely destroyed, we will withdraw from the sky. The sky light curtain, ding ding ding, ding. Lin Fan slaughtered 20 people and went straight to the first place. The sword energy was projected across the audience. The candidates stared like bells and screamed loudly. Lin Fan slaughtered the gods in the early stage, and slapped Ye Chen away with one palm. He took the 10 seats of the immortal sect. The genius of the casual cultivator knelt down and yelled, "Brother Lin has unlimited resources, the sword palm will destroy the alliance, and the power will last forever." Luo Li Silver Fox rushed to help. Her beautiful eyes were rippling, her pretty face was as red as the morning glow, and the sound transmission jade was hot. Lin Fan, you win again. The power of the golden elixir, why is it hidden? She bit her cherry lips, her eyes were soft and promised, Queen of the Godslayer, let's go to the immortal sect together. Shen Qingqing rushed to hug her. Luo Li shook wildly, smiling sweetly and howling, Sister Li's heart is set. Brother Lin Fan is so handsome with his sword, he slaughters Zhao Yi with one palm, and he is a romantic slayer of gods. Let's donate points and form an invincible team. The third brother and the casual cultivator worshipped in a flood, and their voices trembled. Brother Lin is number one. Ye Chen escapes after being seriously injured, and he dominates the list of slayers of gods. Ye Chen crawled with blood on his head, and secretly crushed the sound transmission jade. Dad. Elder, come quickly, Lin Fan has a bug in his wallet and the golden elixir is hidden, so he will be disqualified. After a break from the bloody storm on the battlefield, Lin Fandan sat down to swallow the explosive elixir, replenish the spiritual elixir, and hide his spiritual pressure in the depths. Suddenly, the sky cracked open the golden gate, and the figure of Ye Chen emerged. The middle stage of Jiangqing's Lingshi overlord Jindan was as powerful as thunder. With the white hair of the Yi family elders flying, the spiritual pressure of the foundation building peak was overwhelming, and the cold drink was like thunder. Lin Fan. There is a loophole in the wallet system, suspected of cheating, and you are disqualified from the admissions exam. Kneel down and stand trial, otherwise the Yi family will destroy you. Murderous intent rose like fog, the whole place was dead silent, and the crisis was like a knife hanging above the ceiling. The golden gate of the sky buzzes like a thunderous roar. Ye Qianqing's spiritual pressure in the middle stage of the golden elixir is like a boundless black cloud, the fog in the vast jungle instantly freezes, the branches and leaves of ancient trees quiver like a shivering, and the air is filled with the sharp chill of metal veins mixed with the bloody aftertaste, which is so pungent that it makes people feel stuffy. The elder of the Yi family has white hair flying, and the foundation building peak spiritual pressure support is like a poisonous snake. He points his skinny finger at Lin Fan, and his voice is as harsh as scraping iron. Boy. Monitor the projection of the god-slaying battlefield, bid for hundreds of billions of spiritual stones, the wallet balance is infinite, and the system is cheating. The admissions test is fair, kneel down and hand over the spiritual stone wallet, and search the whole house, otherwise the Yi family's cavalry will destroy your slum and the 9 clans will be wiped out. The spiritual projections of the candidates in the audience are whispering like a tide, and the blood is red. The light-splitting screen flashed uncertainly, Lin Fan's first digit, ding, trembled slightly, and passers-by geniuses taunted and laughed evilly. Lin Fan is finished. Ye Qianqing is the overlord of spiritual stones in Jiangqing, his family's mines produce tens of thousands of kilograms a day, and his wallet is a black hole. There is irrefutable evidence of cheating, immortals sect the dream is broken. The genius of the casual cultivator knelt down with weak legs, and his voice trembled like a candle in the wind. Brother Lin. The Yi family is powerful, the surveillance projection has a recharge of 100 billion, and the system has no loophole records. Our power can't stand it, and the points are given away for free. Luo Li's silver fox cub lowed in warning, its beautiful eyes were round and watery loomed, its delicate body trembled slightly as it clenched the sound-transmitting jade, and its heart ached like needles. Lin Fan. In the middle stage of Ye Qianqing's golden elixir, the family elders joined forces to search the wallet to expose the bug. Shen Qingqing hugged Luo Li, her pretty face turned pale and she spoke softly. Shake, Sister Li. Brother Lin Fan's unlimited wallet is a blessing from heaven. The Ye family is bullying. Intelligence shows that Zhao Xiao's Jinghai alliance has been summoned. 50 people from the ultimate rich second generation have gathered to encircle and suppress us. Our intelligence network is down and there are dangers everywhere. Lin Fan's 3 former Ye Chen juniors and Shi Sanxiu's faces were ashen, and beads of sweat rolled down their noses. The mixed-blood muddy man knelt down with his knees thumping, and his voice trembled like a leaf. Brother Lin. Ye Chen threatens to destroy the whole family. Our small business can't handle it. Quit the force to save your life. The mist of the poison array is still there, and the spiritual pressure is so heavy that you can't breathe. In the distance, Lu Yang's fat body was hiding behind vines, and the smell of wet pants wafted. Secretly the peeping ecstasy roared, "Here comes Overlord Yi." Lin Fan pretends to be a loser and overturns. The wallet bug is exposed, and the points go to Mr. Yi. Ye Chen's pig head is crawling with blood, and the pig's eyes under the gauze flash with hatred, and he laughs hoarsely, "Dad. Elder. Search his wallet, there is full evidence of system collapse." Lin Fan kneels down and licks my feet. The jungle in the southeastern part of the battlefield was oppressive and lifeless, with black clouds and spiritual pressure like overturned mountains. Lin Fan sat cross-legged and his basalt scales hummed silently. The cold scale light illuminated his pale face. The fragrance of elixirs all over his body was intertwined with the smell of poisonous corpses. His heart was filled with contempt like an abyss. Ye Chen. Ants in the middle stage of the golden elixir, veins of spiritual stones. I have an unlimited wallet, so you guys will kneel down. He slowly raised his eyes, the corners of Dan whose mouth did not change, and a flash of light flashed from his right hand. The projection of the spirit stone wallet, ding ding, appeared in the sky. The blue light was as bright as the stars pouring down. The balance number, infinite, flashed blood red, and the recharge record scrolled like a trillion yuan. Ye Overlord, search. The system has personally verified that the unlimited recharge is a bug in heaven, and it is not cheating. Where is the evidence? White teeth, fairy tricks. Is life fair, or is the Yi family trying to suppress the situation? The pupils of the audience shrank suddenly, the white hair of the Yi family elders stood up, the withered hands shook, and the voice became sharp, "Impossible. The system has unlimited output from the Yi family's minds in 10 years. Ye Qianqing's handsome face twisted, and the golden elixir spiritual pressure surged, and the ancient trees in the jungle, crack, the smell of sawdust hit his nose. He approached with a sinister smile, "You kids quibble. The monitoring is vague, the loopholes are irrefutable, search the wallet to prove it." The blue light was projected on Lin Fan's palm, and the female voice of the system sounded coldly, "Verification passed, unlimited recharge is legal, no cheating record. Once falsely accused, the candidate will be disqualified." Silent as a tomb. Ye Qianqing's eyes cracked, his golden robe bulged, beads of sweat rolled down his cheeks and mixed with Ye Chen's blood. His Adam's apple rolled wildly, and his voice trembled like a defeated dog. "System. Personal witness. How could the Yi family's spiritual stone overlord?" The elder's white hair was disheveled, and his foundation-building spiritual pressure collapsed. His legs were weak and he knelt down and murmured, "There is no evidence. Heaven is just and Lin Fan is not guilty." The candidates watching the battle in Tianqiong rubbed their eyes and roared, whispering, "Yi Qianqing overturned under pressure. Lin Fan's wallet is infinitely legal," and the Jindan Tu alliance also personally testified that the Yi family aunt. Luo Li's beautiful eyes were rippling, her lips parted slightly, and she gasped, "Lin Fan, won again." The female voice of the system resounded, and Lord Yi knelt down. Shen Qingqing shook Luo Li wildly, smiling sweetly and yelling, "Sisterly, Brother Lin Fan is invincible and legal, and his wallet is black. Tiandao reward, romantic counterattack." The third brother and the casual cultivator stared like bells, smelling the fragrance of Lin Fan's sleeves, and worshipped fiercely, "Brother Lin. The system has witnessed the infinite." Ye Chen is a fool, we will never regret it, and our power will increase. Lin Fan swept the whole place lightly, waved his sleeves, his wallet dinged wildly, and the projections of explosive flame pill, soul recovery pill, golden body forging bone pill, and Tianling Jinghua liquid piled up, infinite resources, join my temporary sex mortal alliance, the elixirs and magic weapons will be replenished, all the god slaughter points will be donated, and you will be invincible on the battlefield. Who is coming? A casual cultivator in the jungle mist. Geniuses came like a wave, and more than 50 people knelt down with weak legs, shouting with trembling voices, Brother Lin, accept me. The Yi Zhao alliance collapsed, and the infinite elixirs smelled so fragrant that their legs softened, and they swore to join the mortal alliance. The first 3 boys had runny noses. Brother Lin is awesome. We have locked in and come without regrets, the elixirs are stacked, and the power has grown to 100 people. Lin Fan nodded, and the spirit stone like rain, the elixir bottle smashed to the ground. The fragrance of elixir rose to the sky and overwhelmed the smell of rotting corpses. The casual cultivator swallowed it, gudong, and the heat wave burned the meridians with a bang. The base of the foundation bottle loosened, and his eyes were fanatical, Ling Guen. A bottle of Tianling Jinghua liquid cleanses the marrow, and the cultivation level skyrockets. Get out of the Yi family. Luo Li Silver Fox snorted and leaned forward, charmingly. Blushing, he held Lin Fan's sleeve and said, Lin Fan. I join the Mortal Alliance. The Silver Fox protects the body, shares intelligence, and kills gods together. Shen Qingqing blinked and smiled sweetly, I am in charge of the intelligence network. The ultimate rich second-generation alliance is assembled. Mr. Zhao summons 30 people from Jinghai and 50 from the remaining party. The spiritual pressure network surrounds the Mortal Alliance and ambush in the northeastern jungle. Ye Tianqing's pig liver face was distorted, and he dragged Ye Chen's pig head back to the Golden Gate, growling viciously, Lin Fan. 10 seats in the immortal sect, the Yi family will not give up. The Golden Gate closed with a bang, the black cloud of spiritual pressure dissipated, the jungle fog was still heavy, and the bloody mud made a gurgling sound. Lin Fan sat cross-legged on the rock and swallowed 5 pills of explosive pills. The heat wave was like a volcano blasting through the dantian. The spiritual fire of the early stage of the golden pill boomed, burned the sky. The meridians expanded. The members of the Loose Cultivator Alliance opened their eyes wide and worshipped, Brother Lin has broken through. The breath of the middle stage of the golden elixir, swallowing 5 pills of unlimited pills, the Mortal Alliance sect is invincible. Luo Li's eyes were soft, and she leaned lightly on Lin Fan's shoulder. The silver fox licked her palm and whispered, Lin Fan, with the power of the middle stage, the immortal sect only has you. Hundreds of people from the Mortal Alliance moved together, the teleportation symbols buzzed and flashed, the sword energy hunted and swept away scattered enemies, the point's light screen dinged and surged, and Lin Fan was firmly in first place. Shen Qingqing's voice transmission jade was hot, and her sweet voice was urgent, Brother Lin Fan. The information is urgent, the ultimate boss alliance has assembled. Zhao Xiaojing's poison array has resurrected, Yu Fu's second generation is at the peak of 50 foundations, the Northeast Jungle Spiritual Network has sealed the sky, Ye Chen and Lu Yang have secretly joined forces to double the bounty to encircle and suppress the Mortal Heaven Alliance, with murderous intent like a net. Luo Li Silver Fox sniffed. In the air, the hare stood on end and roared, Lin Fan, they are coming. Black clouds are pressing down on the realm, and spiritual pressure is like a tide. The vines in the distance of the jungle exploded, green mist and hot waves were faintly assaulting the nose, the 50-rich second generation approached with a sinister smile, the spiritual pressure net buzzed and locked the air, the crisis was coming again, black clouds were pressing down on the city, and a storm was about to rise on the god-slaying battlefield. Lin Fan's eyes were abyss, and the corners of his mouth were lightly curved, Ant-Alliance. Mortal Heaven Alliance, prepare for war. The voices of the alliance shook the jungle, Brother Lin is invincible. Infinite resources to kill gods, rich second generation kneeling and licking. The bloody storm resumed, the sound of swords intertwined with the collapse of ancient trees, boom, danxiang and poisonous mist clashed, and the battlefield scroll slowly unfolded. Luo Li held the sword side by side and promised with beautiful eyes, Lin Fan, let's go together. Shen Qingqing had a flood of information. There is an ambush 300 feet in the northeast, led by Mr. Zhao. Suppressing the murderous intention, Lin Fan secretly moved the spiritual pressure of the middle stage of the golden elixir, his wallet buzzed infinitely, and he despised the sky, come on. 300 feet to the northeast of the jungle, green mist coiled like a poisonous python, and the spiritual pressure of the 50-rich second-generation foundation builder gathered into a network, buzzing and humming like thousands of bees gnawing at the bones. The air was filled with the fragrance of rotten bones secretly made by the Zhao family in Jinghai, sweet and greasy, pungent and sour, making people's stomach juices surge. Young Master Zhao's thin and sinister face appeared in the fog, his eagle eyes were fixed on the Mortal Alliance camp, and his ferocious laughter was like a night owl crying blood. Lin Fan, the infinite wallet heaven bug. Zhao Jiaoling net seals the sky, 50 poison arrays are linked, the output of the spirit stone veins in 10 years is 10,000 times greater than yours. Night attack to slaughter the alliance, loot points, Zhao, the 10th seed of the immortal sect, smiles. Lu Yang's fat body crawled to the side. The smell of wet urine hit his nostrils, and his pig eyes roared with ecstasy, young Master Zhao. Brother Ye Chen's intelligence is accurate, hundreds of medicinal dregs from the Mortal Alliance, the spiritual pressure net is closed, corpses are everywhere. Ye Chen's pig head gauze oozed blood, hiding in the gutter behind him, hoarse with hatred, young Master Zhao, I will personally assassinate Lin Fan, the wallet bug will be returned to the Yi family, and massive spiritual stones will be used to avenge the murder. In the rock circle of the Mortal Alliance camp, blood and mud were trampled, and hundreds of people turned pale with sweat rolling down their faces. The tips of their noses smelled the fragrance of rotting bones in the distance. Their legs were as soft as mud, and their knees thumped as they knelt down. 3 former Ye Chen brothers trembled with snot and blood mixed with their noses, Brother Lin. Zhao Alliance's 50 foundation building summit Feng, the poisonous array spirit net smells so strong that the legs are weak, our casual cultivator medicine is not stable, and the golden elixir can't suppress it in the middle stage, retreat. Ye Chen's stealth information has been broken, and the night attack will destroy him. The casual cultivator's eyes collapsed, and the meridians were still burning after swallowing the Tianling Jinghua liquid, but he smelled the poisonous mist and his legs were shaking like a sieve. Mountain, but Zhao Shao is the overlord of Jinghai. The bounty of the family alliance has been doubled. Our family is poor and helpless, and the power has been dispersed. Save your life. Luo Li Silver Fox's hair stood on end, and he whispered warningly at Lin Fan's side. His beautiful eyes were gleaming, and his jade hand holding the sword trembled slightly. Lin Fan, their spiritual pressure is like a tide, and black clouds are pressing down on the realm. I am protecting you at the peak of Foundation establishment, but... Shen Qingqing's sound transmission jade buzzed, her pretty face was pale and she was trembling in Luo Li's arms, sisterly. The intelligence confirmed that young Master Zhao personally led, Ye Chen and Lu Yang secretly assassinated, hundreds of people in the Mortal Alliance are unable to resist the night attack, our circle is disconnected, and the crisis is desperate. Lin Fan sat cross-legged, his basalt scales buzzing faintly, his spiritual pressure in the middle stage of the golden elixir was as deep as an abyss, his Dantian sea of fire was quietly churning, and the scent of elixir on his nose overflowed from his sleeves, covering up the smell of rotten bones. He scanned the entire audience, his mind reflected like an ice mirror. Zhao Alliance is 50, the poison formation spiritual network looks like a heavenly net, but in fact it relies on the formation to build the peak foundation. An infinite wallet builds a sky-level formation in one night, the spirit stone pours down and crushes the mineral vein with 10 years of production. Ye Chen's pig head is stabbing. Ant Hedgehog, Lousy's golden body indestructible pill plus teleportation talisman, anticipating an ambush and counterattack. Contempt surges in my heart, the rich second generation is building a foundation with spiritual stones, and you and other mortal dignitaries are kneeling down to lick the dust before cultivating immortality in heaven. The corners of his mouth remained slightly curved, and he spoke slowly, his voice as calm as an ancient well. What are you afraid of? The Mortal Heaven Alliance obeys the order. The jungle in the northeast is 300 feet, and the low-lying terrain is where poisonous mist gathers, perfect for setting up an ambush. I have an unlimited wallet, and the spirit stone cloth is the Sky Thunder spirit extinguishing array, and I massacre half of them in one night. The remnant officially established the clan. The light in his right hand flashed, the wallet projection made a ding sound, the blue light galaxy poured out, the balance rolled in infinite blood, the spiritual stone hit the ground like a heavy rain, the mountain of crystal clear, the spiritual energy soared into the sky, and the mist steamed, and the meridians of the smell were numb. The pupils of the alliance suddenly shrank, and the third boy's nose was dripping with snot and his eyes were like copper bells. Brother Lin, 10,000 kilograms of spiritual stones in a moment. The wallet is pouring out infinitely. We casual cultivators have never seen each other in our lives, and our legs are soft and we worship. The genius of the casual cultivator swallowed hot saliva, knelt down to pick up the spiritual stones, and roared with a trembling voice, Brother Lin divine cloth. It is said that the heavenly level killing formation requires 100 million kilograms of spiritual stones. The mines have not been able to reach this amount in 10 years, and the Mortal Heaven Alliance is invincible. Luo Li's beautiful eyes widened, and the silver fox licked Lin Fan's palm. Her heart twisted and turned into ecstasy, and she tightened her grip on the sword, Lin Fan. The plan is like Yuan, my silver fox protects the heart of the formation, and the foundation sword energy assists in the killing. Shen Qingqing howled, smiling sweetly and shaking Luo Li, sisterly, look. Brother Lin Fan's black hole wallet, the rain of spiritual stones is all over the city, the Zhao Alliance has turned into a trap at night, and the intelligence network has been expanded. Lin Fan moved his spiritual consciousness, and thousands of kilograms of spiritual stones buzzed into the air, pouring into the northeastern formation eye of the jungle. Ancient trees and vines clicked and twisted, thunderclouds gathered faintly, silver snakes swam in the black mist, the electric light sizzled pungently, and the smell of scorched earth hit the nostrils, and the formation became invisible like a ghost ready to attack. He turned his mental game over again, 80% of the formation, leaving 20% of spiritual pressure to lure the enemy. Zhao Xiao's eagle eyes must be greedy. Sneaking Ye Chen predicted the southeast of the sewer, and locked the teleportation talisman to counterattack. Risk? The golden elixir is under hidden pressure in the middle stage, and the elixir supply is endless, 0. The night is like ink overturning, the jungle wind is whirring, hunting, the fragrance of rotting bones is as strong as pus, the Zhao Alliance is approaching with a sinister smile of 50, the spiritual net is buzzing, and locked in the air for 300 feet, and the green mist is rolling in and swallowing the ancient trees. Zhao Xiao glanced at the swaying campfire of the Mortal Heavenly Alliance, and roared with a ferocious smile, Lin Fan's camp spiritual pressure is scattered, and the scattered cultivators have weak legs. They are slaughtered in the night. Brothers, the poison formation explodes, and the points are looted. Lu Yang followed up with his fat body trembling, the smell of urine wafting from his wet pants. Young Master Zhao is mighty. Lin Fan is finished. 50 rich second-generation sword energy hunting, foundation building spiritual pressure tide. There was a boom boom, and the blood mud gurgled under the feet, and the tide of ridicule, infinite wallet. Tonight the corpses are piled up with spiritual stones, and the Zhao family of the immortal sect dominates. The Fantian Alliance camp pretended to be in panic, and the third boy pretended to kneel down and howl, Brother Lin, help. The spiritual network is overwhelming, the poisonous mist enters the lungs and burns the heart. The casual cultivator's eyes flashed with fear, but in fact the spiritual stone formation has been transported, and the thundercloud is low. Kill. Mr. Zhao waved his hand, and the green mist exploded and swallowed the camp. 50 people instantly entered the formation, and the spiritual net tightened and buzzed like an iron knot. Suddenly, the sky thundered and exploded. The Heavenly Thunder Spirit Extinguishing Array was activated, and tens of thousands of kilograms of spiritual stones exploded with spiritual energy like a volcano. Silver thunder lurked like a dragon and burst out with a sizzling sound. The electric arc tore through the air and the smell of scorched earth rose into the sky. The green mist instantly evaporated into blood vapor. The first wave of 20 rich second generation screamed like pigs, the body of the Foundation establishment was burnt black and exploded, blood and flesh spattered on the ground, and the sword was broken and bone shattered with a click echoing. Zhao Xiao's eagle eyes cracked, his thin body's spiritual shield shattered and boomed, the thunder snake bit his arm and burned the meat, and his Adam's apple rolled wildly and trembled sharply. Impossible. Heavenly level killing array. Where did the 10,000 kilograms of spiritual stone come from? Lin Fan set up an ambush. Lu Yang's fat body was the first to suffer, the thunder arc penetrated his pants and became wet, the smell of urine mixed with burnt meat exploded, the fat meat, bang, blood mist, his pig eyes widened and howled, young Master Zhao. Lin Fan's formation, his legs were weak and electrocuted. The Mortal Alliance members rushed out of the rock, and the sword energy assisted the killing. Brother Lin's divine formation. Thunder Dragon slaughters dogs, a wave of 20 corpses, the Zhao Alliance collapses. The casual cultivator's blood boiled, and his voice shocked Lin. Brother Lin's infinite spirit stone spreads the thunder, and the rich second generation ant scorches the corpse, forever worship the sect master. Luo Li's silver fox roared into the heart of the formation, the moonlight sword light poured out, buzzing, like the Milky Way, the Foundation building peak sword energy tore the throats of the three rich and second generations, and the blood fountain spurted fishy heat into the air. Her delicate body rotated, her beautiful hair flew, and her beautiful eyes locked on Lin Fan, Lin Fan. The silver fox protects you, my heart belongs to you. Promised during the battle, immortal sect of life and death. His heart beat wildly, and his confession was like the sound of a sword. Lin Fan's heart was slightly rippling, and he nodded with a faint smile, leer, side by side. He flashed his teleportation talisman, bang, the sword energy of the god-destroying flying sword, and the basalt scale armor buzzed, and the hidden pressure of the middle stage of the golden elixir exploded like a landslide, heading towards young Master Zhao. Zhao Xiao's poisonous needle shot wildly with a swish, the green light was pungent but hit the scales with a ding, ding, and shattered into powder. His legs softened and he retreated with a cracking sound, mid-stage golden elixir. Jiaoxi is hiding. The thunder and soul-eating array. Lin Fan mentally sneered, prediction is 80%, Ye Chen has not moved, the assassination will be in the southeast sewer. A night of slaughter, thunder continued, boom, rain of blood, pop, the scorched corpses were stacked on top of each other, and the smell of putrefaction filled their nostrils. Half of Zhao's alliance, 25, were lying on the ground, and the remaining 25 had weak legs and knelt in the bloody mud. Their eyes collapsed and begged for mercy, Brother Lin, spare your life. The heavenly thunder soul-destroying array has never been heard of, the spirit stone has infinite power, young Master Zhao is half disabled, we surrender and join the alliance. Young Master Zhao's broken arm was bleeding, and his eagle eyes were desperate and crawled on his knees, Lin Fan, the bugs of heaven are crushing the Zhao family. Surrender. Shen Qingqing's intelligence jade flashed wildly, her pretty face flushed and she howled, Lin Fan's brother, the god slaughter. The genius of the circle has come to join us, and the Mortal Heaven Alliance has been expanded 3 times, and the Mortal Heaven Immortal Sect has been officially established, affecting the top 10 in the God Slaughter list. Lin Fan waved his sleeves, and his wallet dinged. The pills were raining down, and the pills for healing spirits and golden body forging bones were piled up in the mountains. The pills were fragrant and covered with blood, incorporated into the Mortal Heaven Immortal Sect, the sect leader Lin Fan, all the god-slaying points have been donated, and the resources are unlimited. Suddenly, the southeast sewer gurgled with blood and mud, and Ye Chen jumped out of the pig-headed gauze with a ferocious smile. The blood shadow sword exploded and pierced Lin Fan's heart in the late stage of foundation building, Lin Fan. Assassinate you, and the Ye family will have the wallet. The pig's eyes were as vicious as ghosts. Lin Fan had already predicted, the teleportation talisman, buzzed, and flashed back, the golden elixir swallowed, gudong, and the golden mist shrouded, the blood shadow sword, ding, collapsed the sword energy, he backhand slashed the god's sword and, chi, tore off the pig's arm, Ye Chen howled miserably and rolled the mud, blood and mud splashed on the nose, Dad, save. The middle stage of the golden elixir is hidden. Lin Fan stepped on the pig's head lightly, the end of the psychological game, Ye Chen is an ant, the family is summoned. The general attack on the god-slaying list will not reject anyone who comes. The allies stared wildly, Brother Lin is the master. Ye Chen stabbed the car with a pig head and overturned the car, captured the enemy of the sect, and the mortal immortal sect is invincible. Luo Li's sword pointed at Ye Chen, her beautiful eyes were soft and charming to Lin Fan, we will defend the mortal immortal sect together. Shen Qingqing blinked, the intelligence has expanded. Ye Tianqing summoned the Jiangqing family to finally attack the god-slaying list for a decisive battle. The storm is coming. Luo Li Silver Fox snuggled up and sent a hot voice, Lin Fan, together. Shen Qingqing assisted and shouted, brother and sister are invincible as a team. Lin Fan smiled lightly, see you on the battlefield. The whole audience burst out with aura, the teleportation whirlpool swallowed up the first 100, the bloody storm resumed, and the murderous intention of killing the god was like a tide. The blood mist in the southeast of the jungle is still churning. The rotten fragrance of the piles of scorched corpses is intertwined with the low roar of the thunder clouds. The eyes of the people of the mortal immortal sect are as passionate as torches. Their noses are smelling the clear aura of the afterglow of the spirit stones, and their meridians are numb and boiling. Young Master Zhao's severed arm was stained with blood. He knelt and crawled in front of Lin Fan's feet. His thin body was shaking like a withered leaf in the wind. His eagle eyes collapsed and he shouted, the power of the sect leader. The Zhao family has dedicated all the veins of spirit stones and worshipped the mortal world forever. The three former juniors wiped their noses with mucus and blood, and gasped like pig lungs. He stared at the round copper bell eyes. Brother Lin slaughtered half of the Zhao alliance in one night, the thunder and spirit-destroying array was unheard of, and thousands of caddies of spiritual stones poured out like the Milky Way. We, the casual cultivators, will worship in this lifetime. The supply of elixirs in the sect is endless, and the golden elixir for the cultivation base will skyrocket just around the corner. Luo Li Silver Fox Cub murmured. Body, the moonlight sword light buzzed faintly, her jade hand tightly grasped the corner of Lin Fan's sleeve, her beautiful eyes were rippling with water, and her heart was like a deer bumping into each other. Lin Fan, we practice the immortal sect together in life and death, and guard the mortal sect together. I, the Silver Fox, swear to protect you to the death. Shen Qingqing's sound transmission jade buzzed hotly, her pretty face turned crimson, and she screamed sweetly, Brother Lin Fan has urgent information. Ye Tianqing Jin Men summoned the 10 major families in Jiangqing, the coalition's 500 foundation building peak plus 20 golden elixirs, the battlefield of the finals of the god-slaying list is overwhelming, Ye Chen Zhu Tu has been rescued, the roaring attack will destroy the family. Lin Fan's Xuanwu scales were faintly glowing, and the sea of fire in his dantian in the middle stage of the golden elixir was quietly turning. The fragrance of elixir on his nose overflowed from his sleeves and was bloody. His eyes scanned the whole place, and the mental ice mirror reflected, Ye Tianqing is calling for an alliance in the middle stage of the golden elixir. Jiangqing's dignitaries piled up spiritual stones to build momentum, unlimited wallet summoned legions of heaven-level spiritual beasts, sword arrays swept across the slaughtering gods, and rich second-generation ants knelt down to lick the dust. The corner of his mouth remained unchanged, the projection of the wallet on his right hand, ding-ding, exploded, blue light poured out from the galaxy, and the remaining blood-red scrolled infinitely, the mortal immortal sect obeys the order. 100 miles southeast of the final battlefield of the god slaughter, the teleportation symbols are assembled, and the entire sect's elixirs and spiritual stones are endlessly supplied. The Yi family's general attack. I summon an army of spiritual beasts, and slaughter the list with a sword array. A battle to reach the top. The heavy rain of spirit stones smashed to the ground, and crystal spiritual energy steamed into the sky. Everyone knelt down with their legs weak, and the casual cultivators gulped hot saliva and roared loudly, "The Master's black hole wallet." It is said that the heaven-level contract requires hundreds of millions of spirit stones, and the mineral veins are not available in 100 years, and the mortals are invincible. The teleportation talisman, buzzing, green light enveloped the 300 members of the clan, tearing through the air and arriving at the final battlefield of the god slaughter. At the end of the jungle in the southeast, the 10,000-acre black stone arena is entrenched like a giant beast. The golden gate in the sky thunders and roars. The spiritual pressure of thousands of people watching the battle surges. The air is filled with the remnants of the rotten bones of the Zhao family in Beijing and the bloody sword of the Ye family in Jiangcheng. The light screen of the god-slaying list hangs hundreds of feet high, and the points are flashing red. Lin Fan is ranked first, with a huge increase, and Ye Chen is ranked 10th. However, Ye Qianqing's pig-waisted body was floating in the air. The spiritual pressure of the middle stage of the golden elixir was like a landslide, booming. He was hunting in black robes, and his pig eyes swept away the 300 new troops of the mortal celestial immortal sect. He laughed like a thunder and exploded, "Lin Fan is a loser. Infinite wallet Tiandao bug." Jiangqing's 10 coalition forces have 500 foundation building plus 20 golden elixirs. The total output of the spirit stone veins will suppress you for thousands of years. The final attack of the god-killing celestial sect is full, and the Ye family of the 10th immortal sect is dominating. Ye Chen's pig head gauze oozed blood, the blood shadow sword buzzed in the late stage of foundation building, and his cousin Ye Kuang stood beside him with a burnt pig head and was seriously injured. Roaring, "Dad, it's a good idea. Lin Fan has 300 medicinal dregs, the Alliance's spiritual network seals the sky, and the night attack corpses pile up spiritual stones. Lu Yang's corpse has been frozen, and the legs of Zhao Alliance's remaining party are weak." Looking from a distance, the sword energy of the second-generation genius of the 500-year-old man surges, shishi, and the black stone breaks with a kaka under his feet, mocking. There was a flood of ridicule. "Lin Fan, the loser. The golden elixir is suppressing." The coalition forces were crushed into pulp, and the points were looted. The crowd watching the battle smelled the bloody shadow, and their legs were weak and commented, "Ye Qianqing is the overlord of Jiangcheng, his family has recharged massively, and the 300 new sect cultivators of the Fantian immortal sect are in a desperate situation waiting to be slaughtered." The 300 members of the mortal immortal sect turned pale with sweat rolling down their faces. The spiritual pressure net under the black stone platform was buzzing like thousands of bees gnawing at their bones. Their knees plopped down on their knees. The third younger brother's nose was dripping with mucus and he trembled, "Sect Master. 500 of the coalition forces have built up the foundation with 20 golden elixirs. Ye Qianqing's pig-waist spiritual pressure is heartburning. Our medicine is not stable yet. Let's retreat. Let's go. The intelligence is cut off, and the general attack will destroy it." Young Master Zhao was lying on his knees with a broken arm, his eagle eyes flashing with fear, "Sect Master. Although the Zhao family has been loyal, the Yi Alliance army's minds have been suppressed for 10 years, and the spirit network is still alive. The family is poor and helpless, and the genius of the coalition army Yi Kuanghutu is seeking revenge. We are separated to save our lives." Luo Li Silver Fox's hair stood on end, and he whispered warningly to Lin Fan. His beautiful eyes were gleaming with water, and his jade hand holding the sword trembled slightly, "Lin Fan. Their spiritual pressure is like a black cloud, and I am protecting you at the peak of foundation establishment, but—" Shen Qingqing jumped into Luo Lihuai, her pretty face was pale and trembling, "Sister Li. Ye Qianqing personally leads, Ye Chen Ye Kuang secretly stabs, the 300 mortals are unstoppable, the circle is disconnected and the crisis is desperate." The whole sect whispered in despair, and the crowd shook their heads and sighed, "The Jiaoxi's counterattack is shattered, the Ye family's powerful people are crushed, the immortal sect has no share. Lin Fan sat cross-legged in the black stone heart, his basalt scales buzzed to protect his body, his spiritual pressure in the middle stage of the golden elixir was as deep as an abyss, his dantian was a sea of fire, and his nose was filled with the scent of elixir and blood. Psychological contempt surges into my heart. The rich second generation is stacking spiritual stones to build up the foundation elixir. You and other mortal dignitaries kneel down and lick the dust of heaven. I have unlimited wallets to summon an army of spiritual beasts, and the heavenly sword array sweeps across. The spiritual light in his right hand exploded, the wallet ding ding ding, and the blood red flashed infinitely. The blue light was pouring down like the Milky Way, billions of kilograms of spiritual stones smashed into the clouds with a bang. The spiritual energy soared into the sky and the mist transpired, whooshing, and the meridians of the sniff were as numb as an electric shock. Pupils in the audience shrank suddenly, Ye Chen pig eyes widened and his waist trembled, 1 billion kilograms of spiritual stone in an instant. Heaven's bug pours infinitely. Impossible. Ye Chen's pig head gauze burst, and blood spurted out, Dad, black hole in Diaoxi's wallet. The 500 coalition troops retreated with weak legs, the black stone clicked and shattered, and the rich second-generation genius roared with snot. The mineral veins will not have this amount in 100 years, God Lin Fan, worship with weak legs. Lin Fan shouted calmly, contract. The legion of heavenly spirit beasts. Billions of spirit stones were injected into the light curtain and the void was torn apart with a buzz. The alien door in the southeastern jungle exploded with a boom. Thunder beasts roared to the sky. Thousands of golden elixir spirit beasts surged like fire phoenixes, thunder dragons, and ice dragons. The black stone platform trembled, boom, the beast's hot breath hit the nose with scorched earth and electric light, and the minions tore through the air with chi-chi. The fire phoenix spreads its wings 100 feet and burns the sky with a bang, and rain of fire pours down. The thunder dragon lies dormant and the silver snake swims away, sizzling and pungent. The ice dragon's mist freezes the ground and knocks. The eyes of the mortal world were as wide as copper bells, and the third boy's nose was dripping wildly and crawling to the ground. The sect leader summons an army of spirit beasts. Thousands of golden elixirs are overwhelming the coalition forces, and the contract of billions of spirit stones is unheard of. We will worship the god of slaughter forever. The genius of the casual cultivator knelt down and roared with excitement, Lin Fan is summoned by God. The rich second-generation ants are waiting to be slaughtered, the immortal sect of mortal heaven is waiting for death. Invincible. Luo Li's beautiful eyes widened, and the silver fox roared on the beast's back, Lin Fan, is as smart as the sea, and I, the silver fox, will help you to fight, and we will climb to the top together. Shen Qingqing shouted and shook Luo Li, sisterly, look. The spiritual beast army is overcast, and the Yi Alliance army surrenders at night, and the intelligence network explodes. Kill. Ye Tianqing's pig waist spiritual pressure exploded, boom. 20 golden elixir alliance sword energy surged, 500 foundation building spiritual nets tightened, buzz, and the blood shadow sword, Shishi, stabbed the spirit beast. However, the army of spirit beasts roared back and attacked, the fire phoenix, fire and rain steamed the blood mist and hissed, and the smell of burnt meat filled the nostrils. The thunder dragon and silver snake devoured 20 golden elixirs and exploded with bloody flesh and splattered with fishy heat. The ice dragon froze 500 foundations and the base of its leg cracked into pieces. The first wave of the second generation of the rich screamed like pigs, their bodies were charred and blackened and exploded with bang bang, the swords were broken and bones reverberated, and the black stone stained with blood and mud gurgled. Ye Tianqing's pig eyes burst, the golden elixir spirit shield shattered and boomed, the thunder dragon devoured his arm and burned the pork, and his throat trembled. Spirit beast army? Where did the billions of spirit stones come from? Lin Fan set up Fu Tian Luo. Ye Chen and Ye joined hands to stab the wild pig's head, but the blood shadow sword whooshed, but hit the spirit beast's claw, ding ding, and shattered. Ye Kuang burned the pig's head and howled miserably, brother, the spirit beast golden elixir presses the foundation, and the legs are weak and electrocuted. Lin Fan's teleportation talisman buzzed to flash the god's flying sword. The heaven-level sword energy, bang, tore through the sky like the Milky Way. The mid-stage basalt scale armor protective elixir exploded a landslide with hidden pressure, directly attacking Ye Chen and Ye Kuang. Luo Lifang's sword light buzzed across the galaxy, the silver fox ripped out the 3 golden elixir throats and, poof, the blood spurted into the air. Her delicate body twirled, her hair flew flying and she locked onto Lin Fan. Lin Fan. Let's slaughter the Ye family together, the immortal sect of life and death. All the swords in the world assisted in killing. Chi, Zhao Xiao's severed arm and poisonous needle wildly shot 100,000 hunting demons, and slaughtered the convulsing corpses of the second generation of 8 rich people. The third younger brother glared and roared, sect leader's sword formation spirit beast. Kill half of the coalition army, Ye Kuangzhu's head is waiting to be chopped off. The crowd watching the battle knelt down with weak legs, sniffing the burnt blood mixed with spiritual energy, and shouted loudly, Lin Fan's infinite divine summons. In the pile of corpses of Jiangqing's dignitaries, there is no doubt that the number 1 slayer of gods. The sword array swept across, the spirit beasts roared endlessly, boom, the blood rain poured down, pop, the smell of scorched corpses, blood and mud filled their nostrils. Half of the coalition army was lying with 250 corpses, the remaining legs were weak and they knelt on the black stone, their eyes collapsed and begged for mercy. Master Lin Fan, have mercy. The army of spirit beasts is unheard of, the power of billions of spirit stones is infinite, the Ye family surrenders. Ye Tianqing's broken arm was bleeding, pig eyes retreated in despair, God's bug. The Ye family kneels down. He stepped on the leaves and burned the pig's head, and slashed the god-killing sword with his backhand. The blood exploded from the pig's head with a bang, and his brain spattered with fishy heat. He screamed and died, Dad, Jiao Si. Ye Chen stabbed the pig's head gauze with a ferocious smile, Lin Fan. Wallet Ye's family. Teleported to counterattack, the god-killing sword light, bang, penetrated the chest, the pig's body popped, and the blood mist exploded, and the pig fell to the ground and twitched with wide eyes, Dad, the middle stage of the golden elixir. The light curtain of the god slaughter list exploded with a buzz, and Lin Fan reached the top of the blood-red points. The whole audience knelt down on the black stone with a boom, and the red-scented aura on their noses covered the blood. They roared loudly, Lin Fan is the best slayer of gods. The mortal immortal sect is invincible, and I will worship the sect master forever. Luo Li rushed to Lin Fanhui, her red lips and cheeks were hot, and her beautiful eyes were filled with tears. Guang Rome, Lin Fan, my heart belongs to you forever, and we share the pinnacle of the immortal sect. Shen Qingqing shed tears on the ground, her pretty face flushed and howled, Brother Lin Fan has reached the top. All snobbery is gone, all the geniuses in the circle have invested, and the intelligence will always be loyal. Zhao Xiaosan's younger brother, a casual cultivator, was snobbish and kneeled down to donate points and resources, worshipping enthusiastically. Lin Fanxiu waved his wallet and ding-ding, the elixir rained down, and the golden body of the spirit returned to the mountain, collect the whole audience. The mortal sect of the immortals, the overlord of the god slaughter. The blood mist in the jungle was still thick, the thunder clouds dissipated, and the afterglow of the spiritual stone reflected the mountain of corpses. Lin Fan looked into the abyss and looked down upon the sky, Ye family's general attack. Mortal heaven immortal sect, prepare. In the distance, the thunder of the Golden Gate was faint, and the big family's black clouds pressed down on the realm, and the decisive battle to kill the gods was about to begin. The blood mud on the Blackstone arena was sticky to the feet, the smell of burnt corpses and rotten corpses mixed with the breath of spirit beasts was hot and hot, the afterglow of the god slaughter list flickered blood red, and Lin Fan ranked first in points as tall as a mountain. All the people in the audience knelt down and gasped. The aroma of elixir in their noses was still numbing their meridians. The 300 new soldiers of the Fantian immortal sect crawled on their knees to retrieve the elixir, and their eyes locked on Lin Fan like a god. Luo Liu was considerate to Lin Fan's arms, the silver fox cub murmured and licked its bloody paws, and her beautiful mist-like eyes whispered softly, Lin Fan. The head of the Ye family, Jin Dan, personally surrendered in the late stage, and the spiritual pressure collapsed. I will protect you. Shen Qingqing's pretty face turned pale to the ground. The sound transmission jade buzzed and was hot, and she gasped, Brother, the information is broken. The white-haired ghost of the Ye family leader is crying, leading the remnants of the Zhao family in Beijing to seek revenge, and the masters gathered together to fight again in bloody battles. Young Master Zhao broke his arm and was lying on the ground, his eagle eyes flickering with fear. The mucus-mixed blood wiped wildly, Sect Master. Although I am a minister of the Zhao family, Yi Laogui's spiritual pressure in the late stage of the golden elixir burns the soul, and the 10 seats of the immortal sect have blood debts. The meridians of our 300 new sect's casual cultivators are not stable, and we are in a desperate situation, waiting to be slaughtered. The 3 former juniors gasped in pig lungs. Staring at the copper bell, his legs trembled to sift chaff. The sect master summoned all the beasts to slaughter the coalition army. Unexpectedly, Ye Chen, the head of the Ye family, crawled on his knees and asked for help. The masters of the 10 sects in Jinghai built a foundation with 500 golden elixirs and killed each other. The mineral veins and spirit stones crushed the top, and the dream of the immortal sect of the mortal heaven was shattered. The crowd watching the battle sniffed at the bloody shadow, shook their heads, sighed, and retreated with weak legs. Lin Fan, the loser, counterattacked to kill the number 1 god. The Yi family has long white hair like ghosts, and the white-robed hunting spirits are overwhelming the black clouds. The dignitaries from Jiangqing, Jinghai and Xi join forces, and the scattered cultivating sects are crushed like ants, and the Yi family of the 10 seats of the immortal sect is bloodbathed. The spirit beast army roared and gathered momentum, and the fire phoenix wings trembled, fire raindrops, shishi, burned the blood mud, thunder dragon silver scales, sizzled, and the electric light wandered, ice dragon mist frozen black stone, kaka, shattered, the long white hair of the rainy family floated in the air, golden elixir late-stage spiritual pressure, rumbling, like the earth was shattering. Black clouds rolled to cover the sky and the sun, ghosts cried in the air and the wind was pungent, and the meridians were like thousands of needles biting the bones. Ye Chen was lying on his knees with a broken arm and pig eyes, and he growled with hatred, Father, the divine calculation. The blood debt of the 2 sons, the Alliance Master's 500 golden elixirs are overwhelming in the mid to late stage, and the destroying heaven is full of people. The elder of the Yi family locked eyes with Lin Fan with blood-red eyes, waved his withered claws, and the white robe bulged with spiritual light and, buzzed, Beijing the 500 masters of the revenge army of the remnant party of the Hai Zhao family surged like a tide, the black stone platform trembled with a boom, the sword energy blood network, shishi, sealed the sky, the elixir fire burned the sky with a whoosh, and the fragrance of scorched earth filled the nostrils, the golden elixir in the middle and late stages of the spiritual pressure stacked on top of the mountain, and the 500 foundation building poison needles hunted monsters swished, like locusts covering the sun. The faces of the 300 members of the Fantian immortal sect were pale with sweat, and the black stone plopped down on the ground. The 3 younger brothers' noses were dripping wildly and crawling on Lin Fan's feet, Sect Master. Old Ye's ghost spirit is crushing his heart, and the forbidden magic in the later stage of the golden elixir is a blood sacrifice. Zhao's remnant party's revenge needles are raining down to devour the soul. We have exhausted the medicine, and the spirit beast army is sealed and waiting to be slaughtered. Zhao Xiao's broken arm was bleeding. Mao, with eagle eyes, collapsed and screamed, the loyal servant Zhao of the sect has weak legs. In the late stage of the Yi family's long mine veins, which have been built for hundreds of years, and the golden elixir is piled up, it is useless for us to surrender, and our corpses lie in the sea of blood. The genius of the casual cultivator's meridians burned with pain, his legs shook, and his blood turned to cold and roared, the sect master is so kind, but 500 golden elixirs are pressing down, and the blood network and the spirit beast burst, and we, the casual cultivator, are a cheap protector. Life. Luo Luewe's sword buzzed and trembled, and the silver fox's hair stood up and whispered in warning. His beautiful eyes gleamed and his jade hands grasped Lin Fan tightly. Lin Fan. They are as skilled as the clouds. I will help you break out of the siege. Shen Qingqing rushed to Luo Lifang, her pretty face was pale and trembling, and she burst into tears. Sisterly. The old ghost is taking charge, Zhao Can. The reign of party needles, the mortal world is unstoppable, the circle's disconnected intelligence network collapsed. The whole sect screamed like a death knell, and the ghosts and screams of the people watching the battle were piercing, and the dream was shattered. The powerful overlord of the Ye family, the infinite wallet bug encountered the blood sacrifice of the late Jin Dan, the 10 seats in the immortal sect were destroyed, and the mortal sect was destroyed. Lin Fan sat cross-legged on the black stone, the light of his basalt scales was faintly flowing, the sea of fire in the dantian in the middle stage of the golden elixir was quietly tumbling, the fragrance of the dantian at the tip of his nose overflowed from the sleeves, making the ghost cry. His eyes scanned the sky, and the mental ice mirror reflected, the head of the Yi family, the queen of the golden elixir, has the right to pile up spiritual stones. Revenge of the ants from the remnant party of Zhao in Jinghai. I can redeem forbidden magic in my wallet infinitely, the golden elixir breaks out in the later stage and the Godslayer comes back again, the rich second generation kneels down and licks the dust. The corner of his mouth remained unchanged, the ding 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 projected on his right-hand wallet flashed infinitely red, the blue light was pouring down like the Milky Way exploding, a billion kilograms of spiritual stone, rumbling, hit the platform and piled mountains into the sky, the sea of spiritual energy, whooshing, steamed into the sky, the meridians in the whole place were numb as if lightning struck, the pupils shrank suddenly and the legs weakened to the ground. The head of the Yi family had white hair standing on end, his old eyes were round and his withered claws were trembling, a billion spiritual stones in one moment. The black hole of heaven's bug is infinite, Jiangqing Jinghai mine has no such amount in 1,000 years. Ye Tianqing's pig waist spurted blood, his pig eyes collapsed and roared, Dad, the loser's wallet swallows the sky. The 500 masters retreated with snot dripping from their noses, and the black stone cracked into powder. The genius Zhao Zondong swallowed his saliva and crawled to pick it up, God Lin Fan, hundreds of millions of stones poured down, his legs were weak and he worshipped and surrendered. Lin Fan shouted lightly, exchange. The forbidden technique jade slip, the great law of disintegration of heavenly demons, the golden elixir will burst out in the later stage. The wallet buzzed and was torn empty, a billion spiritual stones were poured into the light curtain and exploded, the forbidden technique jade slip's golden light, bang, fell into the palm of the hand, and the elixir was the Tianhua Sea violently surged through the golden elixir's mid-stage hidden pressure with a bang, to break through the bottleneck, and the late-stage golden elixir spiritual pressure poured out like a galaxy. The black stone platform collapsed 100 feet with a bang bang, the basalt scales exploded with golden light protecting the body, and the sword energy, shishi, tore through the air for hundreds of miles. The demonic energy and blood fragrance at the tip of the nose burned into the air with the elixir fire, the blood network in the whole place collapsed with a pop, the 500 masters' meridians reversed and spurted blood arrows from their mouths, pop, and the spiritual shields in the middle and late stages of the golden elixir shattered with a ding, like glass. The eyes of the mortal world were as wide as copper bells, and the third boy's nose was dripping wildly, and he crawled to the ground and roared, the master's golden elixir broke out in the later stage. The forbidden magic demon is disintegrated, the spiritual pressure of the galaxy is overwhelming, and the old ghost Yi is waiting to be slaughtered. We will always be invincible. The genius of the casual cultivator knelt down and roared, Lin Fan is explosive. The rich second-generation dignitary has taken the blood sacrifice for himself, and the mortal immortal clan is slaughtered. God Overlord. Luo Li's eyes widened wildly, and the silver fox roared over Lin Fan's shoulders, Lin Fan, in the later stage of Jin Dan, I, the silver fox, will fight to the death, and we will fight together to reach the peak of the immortal sect. Shen Qingqing shouted and shook Luo Li, sisterly, look. The forbidden magic energy is burning to the sky, Master Ye's blood network is shattered, and the intelligence network has restarted. Blood sacrifice forbidden technique. The Ye family elder's eyes were red with withered claws and his chest was torn apart, his white hair was dyed with blood and the demonic light exploded, boom, the golden elixir's spiritual pressure in the later stage backfired and the demon's blood network, buzzed, and tightened, the sword energy elixir fire surge of the 500 masters of the Zhao remnant party in Jinghai, Chichihuhu, the poisonous needle hunter monster, swished, and the thousands of arrows devoured the spiritual beast. However, Lin Fan's heavenly demon disintegrated and the magic was running, the demonic fire in the Dantian burned the sky with boom, and the galactic sword energy swept across, the god-killing flying sword, Chilla, tore the blood web like paper, the black stone scales poison-blocking needle, ding-ding, sparks flew everywhere, the first wave of 100 gold elixir screamed like ghosts in the middle and late stages, the body's demonic fire burnt, hiss, and the aroma of rotten flesh hit the nostrils, the bone-crushing blood explosion reverberated with bang-bang, and the black stone was dyed with demonic blood mud, gurgling. Ye Chen jumped on the pig's waist and stabbed the blood shadow remnant spirit with a whoosh, but the sword energy of the heavenly demon, bang, penetrated the body. The pig's body popped and the blood mist exploded. The pig's eyes widened and fell to the ground, twitching and dying. Dad, the late golden elixir demon, Diaoxi. The genius of Zhao Kandang knelt down with weak legs, and his nose was dripping with roar. Lin Fan's forbidden magic is powerful. The disintegration of the demon is unheard of, and the mineral vein spirit stone kneels down and licks it, spare your life and surrender. The white hair of the head of the Ye family burst, and his old eyes retreated in despair. The withered claws and the magic shield shattered with a boom. The devil's sword energy, Shishi, chewed his arms and burned the ghost flesh. He screamed with a trembling voice, the devil disintegrated. 1 billion spiritual stones were exchanged for the forbidden technique, Lin Fan set up Fuxianluo, and the Ye family paid for its blood debt. The silver fox tore out Zhao Zundang's 3 golden elixir throats, and the blood spurted out. Her delicate body whirled and her beautiful hair flew, locking Lin Fan. Let's kill old Ghost Yi together, side by side with the immortal sect of life and death. The sword energy of the mortal world assisted in killing Chi, and Zhao Xiao's severed arm and poisonous needle shot 100,000 hunting monsters, slaughtering 20 Zhao Tiansai's twitching corpses. The third younger brother glared and roared, the master's magic sword collapsed. Half of the masters were slaughtered, and the Ye family leader is crying to be killed. The army of spirit beasts roared to assist the killing, boom boom, the fire phoenix and fire rain steamed the blood mist, hiss, the thunder dragon, silver snake and gold-eating elixir burst with pop, and the ice dragon froze 500 legs. Crack, the bones were broken, rain of blood poured down, pop, the rotten smell filled the nostrils, 250 coalition masters were lying dead, the remaining legs were weak and the black stone eyes collapsed and begged for mercy, Master Lin Fan, have mercy. The forbidden magic golden elixir is suppressed in the later stage, the nobles of the Ye family kneel in the dust, accept us and offer the mineral vein spirit stone. Lin Fan teleported, into the sky and went straight to the leader of the Ye family. The god-killing sword energy, bang, and the magic light tore through the sky like a black hole. Yi Laogui's withered claw blood sacrifice counterattack, Chilla, but the scales were shattered and ding. The spiritual pressure of the late golden elixir collided with each other and, bang, the black stone collapsed thousands of feet, and the sky cracked with thunder. The eyes of the elder of the Yi family flashed with fear, and his white hair was stained with blood. He retreated and cried, Infinite wallet, heavenly bug. The Yi family surrenders, and the 10th seat of the immortal sect is yours. Lin Fan's light arc sword fell and Chilla tore off his arm, the demonic fire burned the ghost flesh, hissing, and the burnt aroma was pungent, and the old ghost rolled around the stage with a miserable howl, blood debt. Rare. Teleported to fight back, the devil's sword energy penetrated the chest and, bang, the blood mist exploded, the white-haired pig loin corpse fell to the black stone with a bang, the old eyes widened and breathed out, Diaoxi, the late stage of the golden elixir. The blood mist in the audience was solemn, the light screen of the slaughter god list buzzed again, and Lin Fan's points skyrocketed to a blood-red level. The remaining masters with 250 noses dripping with runny noses knelt down to offer swords and spirit stones, with fanatical eyes. Lin Fan's hen slaughtered old ghost Ye. Invincible in the forbidden arts, the mortal heaven immortal sect has been incorporated, and the mineral veins and elixirs will be supplied forever. The mortal heaven's immortal sect expanded by 500, and the elixirs and spirit stones rained down to replenish the supplies. Tian, the demonic power of the late stage of the golden elixir of the sect. The corpses of powerful people in Jiangqing, Jinghai, and the slaughter of gods are invincible. Luo Li embraced Lin Fan. Her red lips were hot stamped on her cheeks and she kissed her deeply, her beautiful eyes were full of tears and she gasped softly, Lin Fan. The news from my Luo family has arrived. The family approves the marriage, and the silver fox blood is building an immortal sect together, forever in your heart. The Luo family elder projected a buzzing, green light floating in the sky, with white hair and kind eyes. Lin Fan's little friend Jean Dan is the late Tuyi overlord, and I, the Luo family, will marry together and be the hegemons together. Shen Qingqing burst into tears, her pretty face flushed and she howled at Lin Fan's arms, Brother Lin Fan. God! The intelligence network has been restarted. I, Shen Qingqing, have become the spokesperson of the Fantiangxian sect. All the geniuses in the circle have invested, and the resources of Jinghaijiang city have been exhausted. Zhao Xiaosan, the new casual cultivator, stared and salivated, saying, the sect master has strengthened the sect's thousands of troops, and the unlimited supply of elixirs has skyrocketed, and the golden elixir is just around the corner. The crowd watching the battle sniffed the mixed fragrance of the demon blood pills, knelt down on the black stone with weak legs and roared to the sky. Lin Fan is famous in the urban immortal cultivation circle. In the late stage of the unlimited wallet forbidden technique of killing the golden pill, the rich second-generation dignitaries knelt down and licked it, the peak of the mortal heaven immortal sect. Lin Fan waved his wallet with a ding-ding, and the golden elixir piled up on the mountain, and the spirit burst out and poured down the rain. Integrate the whole audience, the immortal sect, prepare for battle. Suddenly, the thunder of the golden gate in the sky exploded again, and the National College entrance examination general. The final light screen flashed blood red, and the top 10 immortal sect families outside Jinghailuo's family joined forces to project into the sky. The peak spiritual pressure of the white-haired golden elixir was faintly suppressing the realm, and he sneered like thunder, Lin Fan, the overlord of the god slaughter. In the national finals, the 10 immortal sects alliance built the foundation of 10,000 gold elixirs, and the veins of spirit stones have suppressed you for thousands of years. The dream of suppressing casual cultivators is shattered, and the 10 seats of the immortal sect will start a bloody battle. The spirit beast roared and was ready to go. Lin Fan looked down at the sky, come. Mortal immortal sect, Tuesday. The blood mud on the black stone arena is thick and sticky, the rotten fragrance of demon blood mixed with the aftertaste of red fire and scorched earth assaults the nostrils. The sea of aura mist in the noses of thousands of people is still numbing the meridians, and the legs are weak and the knees are gasping for breath. The blood-red afterglow of the light screen of the slaughter god list flashed. Lin Fan's points were as high as the pillars of heaven. The eyes of the 500 new soldiers of the mortal immortal sect were locked on him feverishly. Their noses were running wildly, and they picked up the elixir and put it into their sleeves with a bang, and their blood boiled and roared to shake the sky. The late stage of the sect master's golden elixir burns the sky. The corpses of the remnant members of the Ye family are presented, Fantian expands its army, and the unlimited elixir supply increases. We will always worship the overlord of the god of slaughter. Young Master Zhao's broken arm was covered in blood and cracked, and the eagle eyes collapsed and turned to worship. Prostrated and presented the jade plaque of the Zhao family's mineral veins with a buzzing, green light, and wiped the throat with mucus and mixed blood, the sect master's divine grace. Tens of thousands of caddies of Zhao family's 100-year-old spirit stone have been poured into the nest, 1 billion poisonous needles are in stock for eternity, and the servants who have lost their arms swear to die to assist in the killing. The 3 former younger brothers gasped with pig lungs and stared into the copper bell eyes, their legs shook and turned to beat their feet in ecstasy. The sect leader has gathered the whole crowd, the corpses of the Ye family's golden elixir are piled up on the mountain, our pig brains are awakened, the elixir enters the abdominal meridians and the veins are thundering, the peak of foundation building is just around the corner. Luo Li's jade body pressed softly against Lin Fan's arms, the silver fox cub murmured and licked the blood of its paws, its hair stood on end, its beautiful misty eyes whispered softly and its red lips were hot, and her nose sniffed the scent of elixir dripping from his sleeves, and his chest heaved. Lin Fan. In the late stage of Tuyold Ghost's golden elixir, the marriage projection of the Luo family has been recognized. The silver fox bloodline is cultivated together, and I, Luo Li, will always belong to me. Your heart is side by side with the immortal sect of life and death. Her jade hand clenched the sound-transmitting jade and, buzzed, the green light projection of the Luo family elders expanded, the white hair and kind eyes loomed with spiritual pressure, and the golden light injected into Lin Fan's eyebrows. My little friend, the magic sword collapsed, the Luo family escorted the mineral veins and pills, and we will dominate the immortals together. Lear's marriage is determined by fate, and the 300 new troops of the Luo family are on call. Shen Qingqing's pretty face turned red with tears, and she threw herself at Lin Fan's other arm, howling and shaking her delicate body. Brother Lin Fan's power is shocking to the world. Spokesperson Ren Fan Tian, the rich second generation has no way to kneel down and lick it. The crowd sniffed the mixed fragrance of the demon blood. Their legs softened and they knelt down and yelled at Jintian. Lin Fan is famous in the city for cultivating immortals. Lin Fan sat cross-legged in the middle of the blood mud, the light of his basalt scales was faintly flowing, the magic fire of the dantian in the late stage of the golden elixir was quietly tumbling, and the blue light, ding-ding, projected on the wallet on his right hand flashed infinitely. He scanned the whole place in a faint arc, and the psychological ice mirror reflected. Yi Zhao's veins of spiritual stones were obtained, and the elixir of the expansion of the mortal world rained down. The Luo family was escorted by marriage, Shen Qingqing's intelligence circle was fully invested, I harvested in a low-key manner, and the 10 immortal sects invaded and massacred again. With a wave of sleeves, the mountains of Hui Ling Dan golden body indestructible Dan poured out and hit the stage with a bang, and the sea of spiritual energy and mist steamed into the sky. The fragrance of Dan in the noses of the audience was like lightning, and the meridians were numb and zzz. Xiao, the golden elixir is near. Xiao Xiao broke his arm and picked up the poisonous needles, his eagle eyes were wide open and he was salivating, the master of the infinite wallet. The Zhao family's spiritual stone is mixed with the needle rain to help kill the invincible army. Luo Li's silver fox jumped over his shoulder and whispered, his beautiful eyes were filled with jade, and he pointed the elixir into his lips. Lin Fan. The essence of the foundation is hidden in the golden elixir. I, Luo Li, will help you prepare for the finals. The aftershocks of the black rock terrace subsided, the blood mud gurgled dried up into scorched earth, the army of spirit beasts roared and retreated while the crowd gasped, the fire phoenix wings trembled and fire raindrops, chi-chi, burned corpse ashes, the thunder dragon's silver scales sizzled, and the electric light disappeared, and the ice dragon's mist-frozen blood clots, kaka, shattered. Lin Fan stood up and shouted softly, mortal immortal sect, harvest the mineral veins. The Luo family and Zhao family's spirit stones are in storage, and the elixirs are distributed to build the foundation. Shen Qingqing, the intelligence network is locking the movements of the 10 immortal sections. Shen Qingqing's pretty face buzzed with excitement. The sound transmission jade was hot, panting and nodded, brother, don't worry. 300 geniuses in the Jinghai Jiangqing circle have surrendered, the internal information of the 10 major immortal sects has been cut off, and the rich second-generation mineral veins are undercurrent. Surging, the alliance's 10,000 gold pills are bluffing. The elder of the Luo clan nodded with a green light, and locked eyes with Lin Fan, my little friend Tushan Overlord, the Luo family's ancestral weapon, we will fight against the finals together. The whole clan knelt down and roared, with the scent of elixirs in their noses, and their legs were soft and bowed, sect master's wisdom. The aftermath has harvested thousands of dawn, and the cultivation of the Tuxian sect has skyrocketed. Suddenly, the thunder of the Golden Gate in the sky exploded again, the National College entrance examination finals blood-red curtain expanded thousands of miles, the projections of the alliance of the 10 immortal sect families floated in the sky, the white-haired golden elixirs peak spiritual pressure piled up and collapsed, black clouds rolled in and covered the sky and the sun, and the ghosts cried in the air and the wind stung the meridians and bitten the bones. The top 10 immortal sect elders outside the Jingheluo family had blood-red eyes, and their sneers echoed like thunder. Lin Fan is a loser but slaughtering Yi Zhao. The national finals are about to begin, the top 10 immortal sects' 10,000 gold elixirs are building foundations, the mineral veins and spirit stones will crush you for thousands of years, and the dreams of casual cultivators will be shattered by the sea of blood, is being projected. Tens of thousands of troops hunted the white robes, the black stone platform boomed and trembled, the sword energy and blood network, Shishi, sealed the sky for preview, the elixir fire burned the sky, whoosh, and the scent of scorched earth filled the nostrils, the golden elixir's peak spiritual pressure overlapped and the sky collapsed, and the 500 foundation building poisonous needles swished, like locusts blocking the phantom of the sun. Fantian's 500 faces were pale with sweat, and he knelt on the ground with a plop of black stones. The 3 younger brothers' noses were dripping with snot and crawling on Lin Fan's feet. Sect Master, the top 10 immortal sects have 10,000 golden elixirs. The Patriarch's peak golden elixir ancestral weapon looms, and the spiritual pressure burns the soul. Our elixir power is not stable and we are in a desperate situation waiting to be slaughtered. Zhao Xiao's broken arm is covered in blood and scabs. Opening, the eagle eyes flashed with fear and screamed, the legs of the loyal servant of the sect are weak. 10 major mineral veins are piled up with spiritual stones, the poisonous needles are raining in vain, and the corpses are lying in the sea of blood. The newly weaved meridians of the casual cultivators are burning and the legs are shaking, and the hot blood turns to cold and roars. The sect master is kind, but the blood network of thousands of troops is overwhelming, and the spirit beasts explode. We casual cultivators are trying to save our lives. Luo Luiwe's sword buzzed and trembled, the silver fox's hair stood on end and whispered in warning, the water in his beautiful eyes loomed, and his jade hand held Lin Fan tightly. Lin Fan, the 10 major immortal sect alliances are in internal strife, and the Luo family's intelligence has collapsed 3 families. I, the silver fox, will assist you in killing and protecting you to break out. Shen Qingqing pounced on Luo. Li Huai's pretty face was pale and trembling, and she burst into tears, sisterly. The clan leader's spiritual pressure collapsed, the intelligence network was cut off within the coalition forces, and the genius in the circle collapsed. The projection of the Luo family elder's green light was dim, and his white hair and kind eyes were solemn. Little friend, the 10 ancestors came out together, nascent soul is suppressing, the Luo family's 300 people can barely compete. The whole sect screamed in despair like a death knell, the ghosts crying in the eyes of the people watching the battle were piercing the wind, and there was a flood of comments. The dream of the top 10 immortal sects is broken. The infinite wallet encounters the ancestor of Wanjin Dan, the immortal sect. 10 seats have no place, the mortal immortal sect is destroyed. The army of spiritual beasts roared and gathered momentum, the fire phoenix and fire rain, Shishi, the thunder dragon's electric light, sizzled, and the ice dragon's freezing air, clicked, then the spiritual pressure of the thousands of troops was swallowed like a black hole, and the black stone shattered and bombed the 100-foot deep pit. Lin Fan's eyes scanned the sky, and his mental ice mirror reflected, the 10 immortal sects' 10,000 gold elixir ants. The patriarch's ancestral weapon nascent soul dominates. My wallet can be redeemed infinitely for the nascent soul's forbidden technique, and the Jiaoxi counterattacks and slaughters the heroes again. The corners of his mouth remained unchanged, the projection of the wallet on his right hand, ding ding ding, flashed in blood red infinitely, the blue light galaxy poured out tens of billions of kilograms of spiritual stones, rumbling, and smashed the platform and piled mountains into the sky for 9 days. The projections of the 10 patriarchs had round eyes, withered claws trembling, and white hair standing straight up their throats, tens of billions of spirit stones in an instant. The black holes of heaven's bugs are infinite. The mineral veins in the country have not had this amount in thousands of years, and the yuanying resources are pouring out. Shen Qingqing's pretty face howled in ecstasy, brother, tens of billions of stones. The intelligence broke up the internal strife among the three families of the alliance, and the genius of the circle rebelled and offered his ancestral weapon. Luo Li's beautiful eyes widened wildly, and the silver fox roared over his shoulders, Lin Fan. Tens of billions are exchanged for nascent soul, and we, the 300 of the Luo family, will help us fight, and together we will slaughter thousands of armies. Lin Fan shouted lightly, exchange. The forbidden magic jade slip, the Tao of reincarnation of the blood demon of the nascent soul, a complete set of yuanying peak elixirs and heaven-level magic weapons. The wallet buzzed and tore open the cracks. Tens of billions of spiritual stones were injected into the light curtain and exploded. The violent surge of demonic fire in the late stage of the golden core broke through the Tianling cap with a bang, and the spiritual pressure in the early stage of the nascent soul exploded like a double explosion of the Milky Way. The black stone platform collapsed into a 1,000-foot abyss with a bang, the basalt scale armor exploded with purple light to protect the body, and the god-killing flying sword, Shishi, tore through the black hole of thousands of miles of magic light. The blood demon incense and elixir on the tip of the nose burned into the sky, the blood network projections in the whole audience collapsed with a pop, the phantom meridian reversal of the army spurted blood arrows, pop, and the golden elixir peak spiritual shield shattered with a ding, ding, glass rain. The eyes of the mortal world were as wide as copper bells, and the third younger brother's nose was dripping wildly, and he crawled to the ground and roared, the master's yuanying exploded. The blood demon's forbidden reincarnation technique, the spiritual pressure of the twin galaxies, the top 10 clan leaders are waiting to be slaughtered, we will always be invincible. The genius of the casual cultivator knelt down and roared with excitement, Lin Fan's divine explosion. The powerful and powerful people sacrificed themselves with blood, and the mortal heaven immortal sect slaughtered the immortal overlord. The green light projected by the Luo family elders surged, and the white-haired eyes filled with tears. My little friend nascent soul is escorting you at the peak, and the Luo family's 300 golden elixirs are assisting you in killing, and we are destined to marry and dominate together. Shen Qingqing's intelligence jade buzzed wildly, her pretty face turned crimson and she jumped up and howled, Brother God. Disintegrate the 5 alliance families, the Jinghai geniuses turn against each other and offer the mineral veins, and the ancestors of the 10 clan leaders are weak. The eyes of the elders of the 3 clans in the projection flashed with fear, and their white hair was stained with blood, and they retreated and cried, reincarnation of the blood demon. Tens of billions of spiritual stones are exchanged for the nascent soul, Lin Fan's dragnet, the coalition forces the internal strife collapsed. Luo Li Yuehua's sword buzzed, the silver fox tore through the golden elixir phantom, and blood spurted out. Her delicate body danced and her hair flew, locking Lin Fan, Lin Fan. Let's kill 10 people together, side by side. Fontian's 500 sword energy assisted in killing the projection, Qi, and Zhao Xiao's poisonous needle shot 1,000,000 hunting monsters, slaughtering the corpse of the golden elixir. The third younger brother glared and roared, the sect master blood demon collapsed. Half of the projections were slaughtered, and the 10 clan chiefs were crying and waiting to be killed. The army of spirit beasts roared to assist the killing, boom boom, the fire phoenix and fire rain steamed the blood mist, hiss, the thunder dragon and the silver snake devoured the gold elixir, pop, and the ice the roots of the legs of the dragon frozen army clicked, and the blood rain poured down. The rotten aroma filled the nostrils. Half of the coalition army's projected army collapsed, and the remaining legs were weak, kneeling on the ground and begging for mercy, Master Lin Fan, have mercy. Nascent soul suppresses the powerful and kneeling dust, and collects the veins of the ancestral artifacts. In the projection of the 10 chiefs, a white-haired elder of the ghost-crying clan with blood-red eyes and withered claws tore through his chest, released his ancestral weapon, buzz, the purple-black magic light exploded, boom, the initial spiritual pressure of the nascent soul backfired and the blood demon's black hole tightened, boom, the 10,000 armies soared Chi Dan fire surged, Chi Chi Hu Hu, and the poisonous needle-hunting monster, swish swish, blocked the sun and destroyed the world in preparation for a strike. Lin Fan teleported and flashed in the sky, the blood demon sword energy, bang, and the purple light ripped through the sky like a black hole swallowing stars, the ancestral weapon magic shield shattered and dinged, and the spiritual pressure of the nascent soul collided with each other and, bang, the cracks in the sky thundered for thousands of miles. The clan elders' eyes screamed in despair, the Yuanying blood demon, the ancestor weapon is annihilated, and the coalition forces surrender. The blood mist in the whole place was heavy, and the light curtain of the god-slaying list buzzed, soaring. Lin Fan's blood-red points were peerless, and he was preparing for the final slaughter. The cracks in the sky rumbled and thunder reverberated for thousands of miles, black clouds poured out like ink and rain of blood hit the black stone arena with a slap, corroding the fragrant and pungent meridians like the bites of thousands of ants, the ghosts crying in the noses of thousands of people, the bloody wind surging, knees weak and kneeling with bloodshot eyes bursting and screaming and collapsed. The ancestral weapon counterattacks the blood demon. The 10 chiefs of the clan, nascent soul, the demonic light swallows the star, Lin Fan the sect master's spiritual pressure is faintly weakening, and the projected sword energy pill fire surges. Our mortal army is waiting for a blood sacrifice to destroy the family. The blood scab on Mr. Zhao's broken arm cracked open, his eagle eyes widened with fear, and his nose was full of mixed blood. He fired wildly with poisonous needles but was swallowed up by the black hole. He crawled to Lin Fan's feet with a high-pitched roar, "Sect Master. Zhao family, the reign of billions of needles is useless. The patriarch's withered claws are burning his soul, and the mineral veins are turning tens of thousands of spiritual stones into ashes. Our loyal servant Zhu now is waiting to be slaughtered." The 3 former disciples panted and shook their legs, and Tong Ling screamed with tears and blood, "Sect Master's kindness." The blood arrows spurted out from the counterattack mouth, and the casual cultivators couldn't save their lives. The faces of the 500 new soldiers in Fantian were white with sweat, and the black stones fell to their knees with a thud. Their blood turned cold and rang like a death knell. The sect master has killed half of the projections. The internal strife of the powerful alliance has stopped the bleeding. The 10,000 gold elixir demon hunting poison needle covers the sun, and our elixir-depleted spiritual beasts are roaring to be destroyed. Luo Li's jade body trembled. The moonlight sword buzzed and the silver light dimmed. The silver fox cub shrank in her arms with its hair standing on end and a low cry of warning. Her beautiful eyes were watery with fear, and her red lips were biting blood. Her jade hand clenched Lin Fan's arm and heated her voice. "Lin Fan, the black hole of the ancestral weapon's magic light swallows your blood demon sword energy. The projection of 300 golden elixirs of my Luo family was shattered, and the blood of the silver fox was suppressed, but I was exhausted even though I was fighting for life and death." Shen Qingqing's pretty face was as pale as paper and she burst into tears. Her delicate body fell limply into Luo Li's arms. The intelligence jade buzzed intermittently and screamed, "Brother," the intelligence network collapsed and the internal strife of the 5 families backfired. The 300 geniuses of Jinghai and Jiangqing turned back, and the 10 clan chiefs, Ghost Cry, prepared a world-destroying strike. The green light projected by the elders of the Luo family collapsed and faded, and the white hair and kind eyes burst with blood and the withered hands trembled, "My little friend nascent soul blood demon Tianwei. The Luo family's ancestral weapon has been destroyed and the 300 golden elixirs have been reduced to ashes. The dream of marriage and escort is shattered." The crowd watching the battle smelled the rain of blood and the rotten fragrance mixed with the scorched earth, and shouted, "Sis Lin Fan is in desperate situation. The infinite wallet encounters the black hole of the Yuanying ancestral weapon, the blood-red number 1 on the god-slaying list is about to be reversed, the corpses of the mortal sect are scattered in the sea of blood, and the 10 powerful men of the immortal sect dominate." In the projection, the elders of the 10 major clans had blood-red eyes and grinned like ghosts. Their white hair stood on end and their withered claws were waving their ancestral weapons in unison. The purple-black magic light exploded in series. The spiritual pressure in the middle stage of nascent soul was cascading, landslides and tsunamis. The black hole swallowed the sky and pulled at Lin Fan's Xuanwu scales with a bang. The scales peeled off. The blood demon sword energy was torn apart with a shishi, but was burned by the back-devouring demonic fire. The clan elder roared with thunder, Lin Fan Tian Dao Bug Infinite Wallet. The blood sacrifice of the ancestors to the 10,000 golden pills, the magic light in the middle stage of nascent soul will destroy your soul, and the casual cultivator Fan Tian kneels down to the dust mineral veins to offer it. The 10,000 army projection hunting white-robed sword Qi blood network, Qi, blocked thousands of miles, and the elixir fire burned the sky and, whoosh, the blood mist transpired. The poisonous needle-hunting demon phantom, swoosh, backfired on the mortal world, the blood spring, pop, sprayed with rotten fragrance and biting, the army of spirit beasts roared and gathered momentum, the fire phoenix wings trembled, the fire rain, shishi, burned corpse ashes, the thunder dragon's silver scales and the electric light, sizzled, disappeared, the ice dragon's freezing air, kaka, shattered the legs but was frozen by the black hole. Lin Fan sat cross-legged in the middle of the abyss. The demonic fire in the late stage of Dantian Jindan faintly surged but was suppressed by the ancestor weapon. The psychological ice mirror reflected, top 10 Ant-Yuanying middle stage ancestor weapons. There is an infinite black hole in my wallet, and the Jiaoxi counterattacks at the peak of nascent soul and slaughters all the heroes again. The corner of the mouth remained unchanged, the right-hand wallet projected, ding 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 ding, blood red flashed infinitely, exploding hundreds of billions of spiritual stones, rumbling, smashing the stage like a river of stars, pouring into the clouds for 9 days and 18 layers, the sea of spiritual energy and mist, whooshing, steaming, breaking through the black clouds, the magic light blasting directly into the cracks in the sky for thousands of miles, smelling the spiritual energy in the nose of the whole audience, like 10,000 swords piercing the heart, electric shock, the pupils suddenly shrunk, the throat rolled, collapsed and collapsed. Worship, thousands of billions of spiritual stones can overwhelm the country in an instant. There are infinite black holes in the loopholes of heaven. The mineral veins in the whole country have not had this amount for thousands of years, and the ancestral artifacts in the middle stage of Yuanying are waiting to be burned. The projections of the 10 major patriarchs' old eyes were as wide as dead fish, and their white hair was wild and withered claws were trembling. They screamed, impossible. Lin Fan's wallet bug swallows the way of heaven, hundreds of billions are exchanged for the peak forbidden technique of Yuanying, and our powerful 1,000-year-old spiritual stones are turned into ashes. Lin Fan shouted loudly like thunder, exchange. The forbidden magic jade slip, the great method of reincarnation of the blood demon of the nascent soul, the pinnacle chapter, the great method of disintegration of the heavenly demon, the fusion of the nascent soul, and the complete set of the nascent soul's peak elixirs and heaven-level magic weapons. The wallet buzzed, and tore into the void. Hundreds of billions of spiritual stones were injected into the light curtain. Boom, 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 the purple and gold jade slips fell into their hands. Brilliant and dazzling, the Dantian demonic fire surged through the Tianling cap and directly exploded the peak spiritual pressure of the nascent soul like a galactic star explosion. The black stone platform collapsed into the abyss with a boom boom and was reborn. The basalt scales exploded and the purple golden light protected the body like a divine turtle to subdue the world. The god-killing flying sword, Shichichi, ripped through the billion-mile-long blood demon black hole to swallow stars and the moon. The blood demon incense on the nose held the heavenly demon's disintegration and burned the scorched earth elixir fire, the whole audience's ancestral artifact projection, pop bang bang, the glass rain collapsed, the blood network of the army, ding ding, shattered the meridians reversed, puff puff puff, the blood arrows spurted wildly, the golden elixir peak spiritual shield turned into ashes and scattered. All the mortals stared at Tong Ling and his nose ran wildly. The third brother Zhu Lung got up with his blood boiling and roared and worshipped with soft legs, the fusion of dual forbidden arts at the peak of Yuaning, master. The spiritual pressure of the galaxy and the galaxy are crushed to the top. The ancestors of the 10 patriarchs are reduced to ashes. We pig brains will worship forever. The true overlord of the god of slaughter, the thunderous golden elixir of the meridians is coming. Zhao Xiao broke his arm and picked up the broken needles, his eagle eyes widened in admiration and shouted, "The sect master has unlimited wallets to help kill hundreds of millions, and the mineral veins will be invincible for thousands of troops." Luo Li's beautiful eyes widened, and the water rippled wildly like a sea of stars. The silver fox roared and jumped over her shoulders to tear apart the remaining projected golden elixir. The fountain of blood spurted out. Her jade body swirled and her beautiful hair flew like a galaxy. Lin Fan gasped, "Lin Fan." The blood demons and heavenly demons at the peak of Yuanying exploded. Luo Li, reached the peak of foundation building and suppressed the golden elixir in the middle stage. The blood of the silver fox resonates, and we will fight together in life and death to kill the top 10 who will always belong to you. Shen Qingqing's pretty face turned red with tears, and she jumped into Lin Fan's arms, howling and swaying her delicate body. Brother Lin Fan's explosion shook the world. The intelligence network was reactivated and all 10 families in the alliance were in conflict. 500 geniuses from Jinghai Jiangqing turned against each other and offered their ancestral artifacts. Shen Qingqing and Ren Fantian's spokesperson shared the information on Lingshi wallet, and the rich second generation knelt down and licked the Wushou circle. The green light of the Luo family's projection suddenly rose and he was reborn. His white-haired kind eyes were filled with tears and he bowed in ecstasy. "My little friend Yuanying is at the peak of the god-slaying overlord. Fusion and escort, the 10 seats of the immortal sect will be joined together and Tian Dinglier will follow forever." Thousands of mortal armies knelt down and roared with blood. The scent of the blood demon pills was fragrant in their noses, and their legs were weak and they worshipped forever, the master's wisdom double forbidden technique. After the aftermath, the fragments of the ancestral artifact were harvested and the marrow was washed, and the cultivation of the immortal sect was shattered. Lin Fan teleported, buzzing, and flashed into the sky. The blood demon sword energy, rumbling, purple gold light ripped through the sky like billions of black holes swallowing up the remaining projections. The eyes of the elders of the 10 major clans were desperate, blood red and withered claws cracked. White hair was stained with blood. The ghost cried and howled, the blood demon at the peak of nascent soul, the ancestral weapon is gone, and Lin Fan's allied forces surrender to the country. Half of the projected army collapsed and turned into blood mist. The rotten fragrance steamed, and the remaining legs collapsed on the ground and begged for mercy. Blood arrows sprayed out, "Master Lin Fan, spare your life." The dignitaries are kneeling down, collecting the ancestral artifacts from all over the country. Shen Qingqing's intelligence jade flashed wildly and shouted excitedly, "Brother, all of them collapsed." The top 10 internal geniuses turned back and offered hundreds of billions of mineral veins, and their circles expanded across the country. The beast army roared to assist the killing boom, the fire phoenix and fire rain steamed and the blood mist, hissed, and burned away, the thunder dragon and silver snake devoured the golden elixir and the afterimage, pop, the ice dragon frozen the souls of the army and, kaka, shattered, the blood rain poured down, papa, and the blood mud gurgled and dried up the scorched earth. The light screen of the slaughter god list buzzed and the blood-red sky skyrocketed. Lin Fan's points were like a pillar of heaven shining forever in the whole country. The immortal sect enrollment light gate bounced, and the golden light expanded thousands of miles. The real bodies of the top 10 immortal sect patriarchs were projected and bowed in surrender. Their white hair trembled and their throats rolled up to offer jade. The brand, buzzing, green light spirit stone veins are all over the country. Lin Fan is the overlord of the slaying gods. All 10 seats in the immortal sect are dedicated to the mortal heaven immortal sect, the nascent soul peak recruits thousands of disciples, and the powerful kneel down to share the spirit stone wallets. Thousands of mortal heaven's armies sniffed the scent of victorious blood pills and roared with excitement, shaking the sky. Tsang, the sect master became famous in one battle. From the Jiaoxi, he counterattacked and slaughtered the second generation of rich Yi Zhao, the unlimited wallet skyrocketed to the peak of nascent soul, the mortal world expanded the infinite mineral veins of Wanjun pills, and the road to the peak of the immortal sect was opened. Luo Liu held Lin Fan's hand tightly and heated it, her beautiful eyes were soft and misty. She whispered with her red lips close to her ear, Lin Fan, slayed the gods in the finals of the college entrance examination, the marriage of the Luo family was successful, and I, the silver fox, cultivated the golden pill yuanying together, and walked side by side on the road to immortality in life and death. Shen Qingqing smiled tenderly, brother is at his peak. Information is always loyal, and the beauty's circle is attracted by it. Lin Fan sat cross-legged in the middle of the scorched earth, the basalt scales were faintly flickering, and the nascent soul peak magic fire was flickering. The blue light in the wallet on his right hand flashed infinitely, and the psychological ice mirror reflected. The poor loser failed the college entrance examination and was in desperate situation, unlimited recharge to kill the school bully Ye Chen. He ranked among the top 10 in the written test, spent a lot of money in the actual resource auction, reached the top of the god-slaying list and massacred rich second-generation dignitaries, and the Luo family escorted Shen Qingqing's intelligence to dominate the city's immortals. With the wave of his sleeves, he waved his sleeves, and the magical treasures of the heavenly order of the spirit-returning pill, the golden body, and the indestructible pill, poured out and hit the platform with a bang. The sea of spiritual energy and mist soared into the sky, and people all over the country knelt down and worshipped. He stood up and scanned the sky, and shouted in a low voice, the mortal immortal sect has harvested the whole country. The gods are slaughtered in the finals, and the 10 seats of the immortal sect have opened a new chapter. Shen Qingqing of the Luo family and the Zhao family is preparing for the higher nascent soul to become a god. Suddenly, the thunder of Kinmen exploded. The white-haired elder of the Yi family was in the late stage of golden elixir. His spiritual pressure was like the sky was collapsing. Black clouds pressed down on the waist of the pig. Ye Tianqing crawled beside him. His old eyes locked onto Lin Fan with hatred and his voice was like a ghost crying, Lin Fan. Kill me. Second son, the head of the Yi family has surrendered to wipe out all your blood debts. The bloody battle among the 10 seats of the immortal sect has begun again. The whole place was covered with blood and the spirit beasts were roaring. Lin Fan looked down at the sky and said, we will not reject anyone who comes to the immortal sect. Suddenly, a faint purple light flickered in the depths of the void, and an ancient voice rolled like thunder, Lin Fan's Tiandao bug has unlimited wallets, and 2 college entrance examination enrollment, but the peak of yuanying, the hidden world of the immortal cultivation world, invades, and the spiritual stone wallet black hole leading to the catastrophe. The black clouds dispersed and the golden gate opened forever. Lin Fan's eyes were deep and he was smiling. The blood of all the armies in the world was always with him. Luo Li's silver fox was leaning against him. Shen Qingqing's intelligence locked new enemies. On the road to the peak of immortality, Jiaoxi's counterattacks were endless.